The opinions and views expressed in the following program are those of the speakers and the host, and do not necessarily reflect those of Yoakley Scott Corporation and Your Sports Network.
Yeah, I've been closer to Jesus before, so can you help me out? Oh, can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Can you help me? Scared to look at my soul. I've been afraid I would follow alone. Yeah, afraid of the things I've been told.
Welcome into a Tuesday edition of Running Point, presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown. If you're in the market for a brand new or slightly used automobile, you owe it to yourself, you owe it to your wallet to check out the good folks at Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown. Been saying this for months. They have the three great qualities that you need in a car dealership. Fantastic sales department, terrific finance department, superb service department. And you need all three of them to be really, really good in order to have a great car dealership. And that's exactly what Greenwood Chevrolet is. So before you put pen to paper and sign your life away, or at least 5 to 6 years of your life away with car payments, do yourself a favor and give Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown the opportunity to earn your business. You will not be disappointed. Trust me on this one. You won't be disappointed. All right, plenty of things to talk about on this Tuesday edition of Running Point. 4 of our 6 boys teams in the area left. They are going to be in action tonight. Cardinal Mooney will be taking on Lutheran East out of the Cleveland area. That game will start at 5:30 over at Twinsburg High School this afternoon. And then at 8 o'clock tonight, not immediately, but soon after the Mooney Lutheran East game, the Springfield Tigers will be taking on Norwayne. And I think both teams have a legitimate chance. Both teams have a legitimate shot at winning these games, and we'll see what happens. Meanwhile, over at Akron Firestone High School, Warren JFK will be taking on the Lucas Cubs. It'll be the JFK Eagles and the Lucas Cubs. That game will be starting at about 5:30, and then at 8 o'clock tonight, Richmond Heights will be taking on Bristol. So 4 of our 6 boys teams that are left are going to be playing in regional semifinal action tonight, and hopefully, knock on wood, all 4 of them will be victorious. And then on Thursday, we got 2 boys games in action on Thursday night, and we got a girls game as we get to the state semifinals in Dayton. McDonald will be taking on Waterford Thursday afternoon. We are going to be hearing from the head basketball coach of the McDonald Blue Devils, Tony Mattisi. He'll be calling in on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning hotline in about a half an hour, and we'll talk some McDonald girls basketball with the head basketball coach of the McDonald Blue Devils, Tony Mattisi. McDonald taking on Waterford in the state semifinals. It'll be the second consecutive year that a girls basketball team from the Mahoning Valley is in the state tournament. Now, unfortunately, we all know what happened about a year ago. The proverbial crap hit the fan, and everything got shut down about a year ago at this point. And threw all of us for a loop, and we're now hopefully, fingers crossed, starting to climb out of this deep, dark hole that our country has been in, courtesy of COVID. And hopefully the sports world is starting to slowly but surely get out of this dark hole. And hopefully, fingers crossed, we will be onward and upward this day and every day moving forward. But anyway, the McDonald girls will be playing Waterford on Thursday afternoon. And then on Thursday nights, Struthers will be taking on Akron St. Vincent St. Mary in the first of two games. That'll be at 5:30, and then at 8 o'clock on Thursday nights, Cheney will be playing Gilmore Academy. And like I said, knock on wood, hope and pray, all six of our boys teams win the regional semifinals. That would set up 3 all-local regional championships in D2, D3, and D4. And when you consider JFK and Bristol would have probably been in the same tournament, the same district tournament up in Grand Valley. Those two teams would have been in the same tournament. In Division 3, Mooney and Springfield would have been in the same tournament, the D3 tournament in Salem. These two teams would have probably seen each other in the district championship game, much like JFK and Bristol seeing each other in the Division 4 district championship game. And finally, in Division 2, Struthers and Cheney, they would have seen each other in the district championship game at Boardman under normal conditions. And when you think about this, and I know how horrible COVID has been. I mean, for the class of 2020, their spring sports were taken away from them. For most of the football season, it wasn't normal. Basketball season, it wasn't normal. But if there is something potentially great that comes out of the disgusting, dark year that we have had, it's going to be coming from the basketball tournaments. I wondered aloud if the basketball tournaments and the new way of doing the basketball tournaments, at least for this year, and rumor has it it's going to be permanent. I wondered aloud whether or not this was going to be the right call. And as it turns out, I'm going to be honest with you, I kind of liked it. I kind of like the idea of two districts combining into one big district, and you have the seeds from 1 to 32 or however the hell amount of schools are involved in this, and you essentially go from top to bottom. All right, number 1 seed, where do you want to go here? Number 2 seed, where do you want to go? And then so on and so on and so on until you have put everything into both tournaments, equally distributed. And, you know, like I said, last year, had we played the tournaments the way it was normally put together, Struthers and Cheney wouldn't be playing for a berth to a regional championship game. One of these teams would have been eliminated over the weekend. Same for Mooney and Springfield. One of these teams would have been eliminated because Mooney and Springfield would have both been at the Salem tournament in Division 3. And JFK and Bristol, those two teams take part in the Grand Valley tournament in previous years. So one of those two teams would have been eliminated. So it just, for me, I kind of liked this. I liked the new format. Now, as I have said for the last week and change, I think if you want to amend something from tournaments, in both tournaments, have it at one location. So you'll have the 4 semifinal games and the 2 district championship games all in one location. That means that you would have a doubleheader on one night, a doubleheader the next night, and then let's say Friday or Saturday you have the district championship game. And if it's a doubleheader on Monday and Tuesday or Tuesday and Wednesday, okay. Tuesday on game 1, 2 games. Tuesday or Wednesday, game 2, 2 games. And then Friday, you have your district championship game. If you're playing your district championship game on Saturday, then you'd simply have 2 district games on a Wednesday, 2 district games on a Thursday, your district championship game on a Saturday. And you don't necessarily have to have from the 2 tournaments. You'd simply pick one district final from one tournament, one district final from another tournament, so nobody is getting an extra day or so. Nobody's getting an unfair advantage, because if you were to do, all right, both of these games on this particular day, then they have the extra day. Now, of course, you could probably do that and have the argument of saying, well, we're going to go with the number 1 seed. If the number 1 seed is alive, then the number 1 seed and the other district semifinal game in that particular bracket will be this particular day. And then, okay, well, we have a doubleheader on Tuesday, doubleheader on Wednesday, and a doubleheader on Friday, as it turns out, because you'd have 2 games for the district championship game. So you'd have 2 games in the one district on one night, 2 games on the other district the next night, and then the 2 district championship games. I think it would be perfect. You just have to find one location for the district tournament. I think that's probably the one thing that would make the most sense if we're going to keep this format, which, by the way, I absolutely love this format. I do. I just think the one thing that they need to do is tweak it. And the tweaking is find a neutral location for the district tournament. Division 2, obviously, it would be Boardman. That would be, at least in our area, that would be the best thing to do. In Division 3, I'm a traditionalist. Give me Salem or Harding, one or the other. Division 4, give me Struthers at the Fieldhouse. Now, if you want to go Division 2 at the Fieldhouse and skip it to where, okay, Division 2 at the Fieldhouse because it's a little bit bigger than Boardman, and put Division 4 in Boardman, I'm good with that. I'm good with that. I think it would be a fantastic decision. But you have to have one neutral location for all the district tournaments. I think that if the OHSAA or the Eastern Ohio Board, whichever one's making this decision, I think if they decided to do that, I think it would be then the absolute perfect, not that there is such a thing, but pretty damn close to perfect scenario. So I think that would be, that's the one thing that I would hope that the decision makers decide to do for the 2021-2022 season. Okay, one note that happened about 15-20 minutes ago, give or take a few minutes. The Pittsburgh Steelers have announced that Bud Dupree is not going to be franchise tagged. He is not going to be the player that the Steelers will be putting the franchise tag on. So Bud Dupree is essentially a free agent, and let me just break this down for Steelers fans. Bud Dupree's not coming back to Pittsburgh. I don't think the Steelers have any interest in re-signing Bud Dupree. I think that the Steelers are ready to move on and ready to try to go in another direction. And truth be told, it's probably not a horrible decision by the Steelers. Steelers did get a little bit younger on defense, and when Dupree was out, they got a pretty nice, they did okay, and his replacement did okay. It all comes down to how much money do you have in this salary cap issue? And by the way, they better come up with the cap number before the free agency starts getting going. They have to come up with this number before they even get into the free agency aspect. But the Steelers, it was announced that they are not going to be putting the franchise tag on Bud Dupree. So there you go. The Browns they haven't figured out who they're putting the franchise tag on. This is, by the way, the 3rd-year anniversary of the Browns acquiring Jarvis Landry. 3 years ago today, they did a lot of trades. Actually, they traded a 3rd-round draft pick to the Bills for Tyrod Taylor. Yeah, you Browns fans remember him. He was the guy that quarterbacked the first couple of games when Baker was a rookie, and you all wanted to, what the hell? How in the world? Why did we acquire this guy? And I tried telling everyone, listen, if you're going to watch Tyrod Taylor play quarterback, you have to have some alcohol with you because he's not that good. As a Bills fan, I had to watch that. And, like I said, you're going to watch Tyrod Taylor quarterback, you all better be having some alcohol with you because you're going to need it because he's going to drive you nuts. But 3 years ago, the Browns sent a 4th and a 7th to the Dolphins for Jarvis Landry. And my goodness, did that trade work out for the Browns. Yeah, so that's the 3rd-year anniversary. And I think the other deal they made, they sent Kaiser to Green Bay. All 3 of these deals happened within like 30 minutes of each other. It was a crazy day for the Browns, but that was 3 years ago today that the Browns did that. Free agency, as I mentioned, we're about 9 days out from free agency. Lots of things going on prior to free agency, and again, the NFL has to officially get the salary cap. Rumor has it was going to be around $180 million. We'll see. We'll see what happens there. We got some news from the Indians this morning. Franmil Reyes, Jose Ramirez, they went to dinner. They went out to dinner over the weekend. And apparently you're not allowed to do that. In the COVID world, you got to watch your P's and Q's, especially out in Maricopa County. Little known fact for everyone, the Indians, they train in Goodyear, Arizona. Goodyear, along with all of the other Cactus League teams, they are all within the county of Maricopa County. Maricopa County is the biggest county in the state of Arizona. It is in one of the fastest growing cities in America, and that would be Phoenix, Arizona. That area has just absolutely exploded with popularity and whatnot. Well, Maricopa County is by far and away the worst county in the United States for COVID right now. And everyone was told prior to the start of spring training, don't go anywhere, just stay in the complex, don't do anything stupid. Unfortunately, Franmil Reyes and Jose Ramirez decided, they didn't want to do that. They wanted to go out to dinner, and they self-reported, thankfully. Over the weekend, they were told, you're not going to be doing anything for a little bit. This morning, they got the green light from Major League Baseball. Both of these guys are ready to go. And apparently, according to Tom Withers, who does an amazing job of covering the Indians and the Browns and the Cavaliers for the Associated Press, he tweeted out that both Franmil Reyes and Jose Ramirez addressed their teammates, and they apologized and the whole 9 yards. So hopefully, fingers crossed, everyone's learned a lesson and go back to doing your thing. But it's just a lot of. I know a lot of states are trying to get the jump on things with everyone wanting to take their mask off and whatnot. Let's just slow it down a little bit. Nobody has gotten. Not everyone has gotten the vaccine, so we gotta slow it down a little bit, and that's where these guys had the COVID-19 violations, and fortunately they didn't get COVID. So, but the green light is hoisted for those two guys, and they're back doing their thing, and hopefully everyone will everyone will just calm down and we'll get back to a sense of normalcy in Goodyear. All right, 330-886-0813, the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline, open for business. With you till 3 o'clock. Tony Mattese will be coming up in about 10 minutes, the head basketball coach of the McDonald Blue Devils. You want to talk about a team that, you know, a lot of teams in our area had gone through all kinds of craziness with COVID. McDonald, a little different. McDonald, one of those schools in Trumbull County, they got shut down like every school in Trumbull County. Trumbull County Health Board shut down the athletics in much of the month of December. And then Coach Mattese, he had a bout with COVID where Coach Mattese spent some time in the hospital. And he wasn't coaching for a stretch there. And it's been an interesting year. It's been a very different year for McDonald, and yet here they are, the one team that has gone through the sectional, district, and regional tournaments, and they are one of the 4 teams left in Division IV, and they have an outstanding chance to play for a state championship game over the weekend. We'll catch up with Tony Mattese, the head basketball coach of the McDonald Blue Devils girls basketball team. That'll be coming up in about 10 minutes. We are going to be anticipating a really big announcement pertaining to something local, as of course, loyal, local, and live. That is the mantra here at YSN. Well, we're going to be doing something pretty cool, and the announcement forthcoming today. At some point today, we're going to make the official announcement of something that has been in the works for quite some time, and I'm going to be smiling like the proverbial butcher's dog because it's something very near and dear to my heart, and I am really looking forward to taking part in the announcement that we're going to be making later today. This announcement will be made before I get off the air at 3 o'clock, and let's just say that yours truly is really excited about this, and really excited to be a part of this, because I think this is a big time feather in the hat of our growing and expanding company, and I could not be prouder to be a part of this. And like I said, fingers crossed, this is just something that's going to be a lot of fun for me. Definitely a lot of fun for me. All right, 330-886-0813, the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline, open for business. Again, a reminder, D3 and D4 regional semifinal action tonight in boys basketball. In Division 4, Warren JFK will be playing Lucas. This will be from Akron Firestone High School at 5:30. At 8 o'clock tonight, Richmond Heights, by far and away the favorite in this region. They will be taking on Bristol, and that will be at 8 o'clock tonight. Division 3 will be played at Twinsburg High School this afternoon at 5:30. Cardinal Mooney will be taking on Lutheran East. That's a 5:30 tip-off. And then at 8 o'clock tonight, the Springfield Tigers will be playing Norwayne. If that sounds familiar, it should. These two teams, I want to say they played in either the quarters or the semifinals, and I want to say it was the semifinals that these two teams played each other. That was the game in which the Tigers did the hook and ladder and was able to get a late touchdown to knock off Norwayne, or a field goal, a late field goal to knock off Norwayne and go to the state championship game in football. So these two teams, they know each other on the gridiron. They're about to know each other on the basketball floor, as Norwayne will play Springfield tonight at 8 o'clock. And I'm sure there's plenty of football players playing basketball this year for Springfield. I'm pretty sure there's a number of football players on Norwayne that happen to be playing basketball, and you can bet your bottom dollar that the kids from Norwayne, they're going to be a little juiced up for this game. Yeah, you think? Yeah, a little tiny bit. They're going to be juiced up for this game because, that football game, I would imagine that it probably hasn't set too well with the kids from Norway. So a little bit of fuel to the fire with these two teams, being that they saw each other and played what a lot of folks would say prior to the state championship game, a lot of folks would say it was the most exciting game that they had seen in the playoff run from the Tigers. Now, state championship game, that was pretty damn exciting too. It didn't have a good ending for the Tigers, but it was a pretty damn exciting game. But that state semifinal game with Springfield and Norway, ooh, man, that was good. That was a really good game, and hopefully the two teams will be treating us to a phenomenal game on the hardwood tonight at 8 o'clock over at Twinsburg High School. All right, we'll take a timeout. On the other side, we will hear from the head basketball coach of the McDonald girls basketball team. Tony Mattese will be calling in on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning hotline. That's coming up after this timeout. A Tuesday edition of Running Point. It's presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown. If you're in the market for a brand new or slightly used automobile, before you put pen to paper and sign your life away, or at least 5 to 6 years of your life away, maybe 7, you owe it to yourself to take a trip over to Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown. Let these people get a shot at earning your business. Believe me when I tell you, you will not be disappointed. All right, we're back in a bit. It is a Tuesday edition of Running Point. Tony Mattese coming up next. Stick around.
New things happen all day. Some are good, some not so good. In today's complicated world, while you're busy working, playing, and living life, we're busy helping you make sense of the day's news. And there's only one place where it comes together with clarity, context, and accountability. It's 21 News at 6 with me, Madison Tromler, and Derek Steyer.
21 News at 6. It's what the day's news really means to you.
Welcome home to a home made homier with Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods. Inspiration starts at BairdBrothers.com and is turned into reality when high-quality hardwoods are delivered right to your home. Baird Brothers has the latest design trends, shiplap and skinny lap interior siding, antique oak rustic flooring, and, well, you'll find them all at BairdBrothers.com. Ordered easily, delivered conveniently, enjoyed comfortably. BairdBrothers.com.
Wrs Wealth Advisors, the area's premier wealth and retirement specialists. Located on South Avenue in Boardman.
Hi, this is Jim Myers with Myers Family Insurance, your local Medicare and retirement resource. We're excited to have sports back. Whether you're on the field or cheering from the stands, sports unifies communities and brings hope for the future. We're all one team working together. At Myers Family Insurance, we know the importance of a great team.
Our team continues to grow to help you with your Medicare and retirement needs.
The annual election period is October 15th through December 7th. Now's the time to make sure your plan continues to meet your needs for the upcoming year.
Call today.
Hi, I'm Colin Chupa. And I'm Kelsey Clem from K-Squared Marketing. Our boutique marketing firm specializes in media planning and buying, public relations, event marketing strategies, and strategic sponsorships. We can integrate our services with your existing game plan, or we can be your entire marketing team. Your goals, our game plan. Let's win together. Call K-Squared Marketing at 330-623-2730 or visit ksquared.marketing to learn more.
Planning a project around your home or rental property? Trust the electrical service to the local experts with 62 years of serving the Mahoning Valley. Joe Dickey Electric is your local go-to source for responsive, reliable residential electrical work. From everyday maintenance and repairs to new installations, electrical upgrades, and safety inspections, no job is too big or too small. Call Joe Dickey Electric today, 800-549-3976, or visit DickeyElectric.com. That's DickeyElectric.com.
Welcome back to a Tuesday edition of Running Point, presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown. The MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline, well, it's not open for business right now. We're awaiting the head basketball coach of the McDonald girls basketball team, as Tony Mattese is set to call in, and we're going to talk some McDonald Blue Devils basketball. The Blue Devils in action on Thursday afternoon. They will be taking on Waterford down in Dayton in the state semifinals, and unlike last year, knock on wood, we will be playing the state's tournaments for the girls, and we'll be playing the regional and the state tournaments for the boys, and we'll be playing our spring sports, and hopefully this is a sign of good things to come, as hopefully we're on the back end of what has been an absolutely dreadful year with COVID. So we will be chatting with Tony Mattese, the head basketball coach at McDonald, coming up momentarily. I will tell you our announcement that I had been teasing the last segment. That announcement will be made at 1 o'clock, as we will bring in the person in charge of said announcement. I'm not going to let the cat out I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag here. I mean, that's not going to happen. You got to wait till 1 o'clock. I think some folks have a pretty good idea of the direction that we're going here. I mean, like I said, I didn't mean to drop any hints, but local is one of the hints. And, I'll just leave it at that. But the guest that we will have coming up at 1 o'clock, he is going to be the person that is in charge of the announcement that we're going to be making. And we'll go from there. And I look forward to this, because it's something that has been brewing for quite a while. And I'm excited as hell to announce this in about a half an hour or so, because it's going to be something that we here at YSN are really, really looking forward to. This is just something that I've been just very interested in this particular endeavor, and I look forward to the start of this relationship as soon as possible. Trust me when I tell you. All right, 330-886-0813. The MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline open for business. We are awaiting the head basketball coach of the McDonald Blue Devils, Tony Mattese, and hopefully we will hear from the head basketball coach, and we will talk some McDonald Blue Devils basketball, as they are 2 wins away from celebrating a state championship in girls basketball. And, before the season started, we all sat back and said, this McDonald team could be able to do some things. They have a shot. They have a serious chance at doing some things, but it would have to be, all right, Coach Mattese is coming in, and you pay attention to what he has to say. His way of doing things might be a little bit different from the previous regime. And lo and behold, after some stoppage, obviously, the month of December, Trumbull County Health Board said no on high school athletics, and McDonald is in Trumbull County, so they were one of the many schools that were shut down for much of the month of December, and that was an obstacle. Coach Mattese had COVID and was hospitalized, and that was an obstacle. And there have been plenty of obstacles in the way of this McDonald program, and through it all, McDonald was able to survive the sectional and district tournaments, and then they won 2 games to move on to the state semifinals. They won a regional championship over the weekend with an 8-point victory over Shadyside, and now they're 2 wins away from a state championship. And this is a fantastic, fantastic basketball team. And hopefully we will hear from Coach Mattizi, and we'll get his views on this team. Again, a reminder, D3 and D4 regional tournament basketball action as the boys are a week behind from the girls. And again, just a reminder, the boys, like the girls, they're going to be playing in Dayton. It's nothing in Columbus this year. They're going to be playing at Dayton as well. The boys, we got 6 teams locally from our 3-county area in the regional tournaments, 2 teams in Division 2, 2 teams in Division 3, 2 teams in Division 4. And none of the teams are playing each other in the first round of the regional tournament. So there is the possibility of having a all-local regional championship game in D2, D3, and D4. Tonight, D3 and D4 will be in action. Division 4 will be playing their games at Firestone High School in Akron. JFK will be playing Lucas at 5:30. Bristol will be playing Richmond Heights. That game will start at 8 o'clock. Both of those games are going to be played at Akron Firestone High School. Meanwhile, Division 3, Twinsburg is going to be the place. Twinsburg is a little south and a little east of Cleveland. If you're going on, and I always get confused whether it's 480 or 271, I'm not quite sure. One of those thoroughfares to the city, there is an exit for Twinsburg. Twinsburg has some really, really nice facilities. At 5:30 this afternoon, Cardinal Mooney will be playing Lutheran East out of Cleveland Heights. This is a pretty impressive ball club, although they've only played 15 games this year. They're 12-3. Much like Cheney, they have scheduled a who's who of basketball. They're a very impressive basketball team. Cardinal Mooney will most certainly have their hands full. There is a kid, keep an eye on this young lad, Jalen Billingsley. He's committed to Georgetown. He's about 6'8". He is going to be the guy that Cardinal Mooney is going to have, hopefully, have a game plan to try to neutralize. And, you know, anytime that you're going into the region, you run into ball clubs that have this kind of size. If you're a D3 or a D4 team, 6'4", 6'5", that's probably around the area of what you're normally looking at. 6'4", 6'5". And you know, unless you're really blessed, and there have been a handful of teams in the area that have been blessed with some kids that are pretty big, and I mean height-wise pretty big. But you normally don't see teams that have someone 6'8" or above until you get into the regional tournaments. Because, well, let's be honest. If you have a lot of talent, and oh, by the way, you've got a kid that's 6'8", yeah, you're going to probably wind up in a regional tournament. And that's where the local teams will probably wind up seeing that kind of talent. Again, Lutheran East has a kid 6'8", and he's a Georgetown commit. So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see how Mooney is able to defend against Jalen Billingsley. I'll be very curious to see what they can do. This is a team that in the last 3 games, they've scored at least 92 points. So they love to score. And obviously, Cardinal Mooney's a team that can seriously play some defense. They've put the clamps on an awful lot of programs, not just around here, but they've put the clamps on a lot of programs outside of the area. And I'll be real curious to see how well Cardinal Mooney can play against Lutheran East. They get a shot. They definitely have a shot in this game. The nightcap at 8 o'clock, it'll be Norwayne taking on Springfield. And I don't think either team has a kid anywhere close to 6'8". But Norway's a solid team as well. I mean, look, you get into the regional tournaments, you're one of the 16 best teams in the state of Ohio. And I always make this comment, and I'd love to hear if you agree or disagree. You can hit me up on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning hotline at 330-886-0813. So many people sit back and say, oh, it's a Cinderella story. At what point in time do you sit back and say, okay, yes, this is highly unusual and you can say it's a Cinderella story, but at what point in time do you sit back and say, you know what? These guys are legit. We got to take them seriously. To me, if you get to the district championship game, and let's say you're a 6 seed or above, you get to a district championship game, you're no longer a Cinderella story. You're one of the 32 best teams in the state of Ohio at that point. If you get to a district championship game, you're one of the 32 best teams in the state of Ohio. If you get to a district semifinal game, you're one of the 64 best teams in the state of Ohio. If you get to the top 32, you're no longer a Cinderella story. Now you're a team, I don't give a crap what the record is. You're now a team that you have to be respected. You have to be looked at seriously. So many teams will sit back, oh, this is a Cinderella story. This is a piece of cake. Look at their record. No. If you get to a district championship game, let alone get into the regionals, I don't care what your record is. I'm not even looking at your regular season record at this point. Because if you get to the district championship game, you are no longer a lucky team. Cinderella. No. You are now a team that everyone should be looking at the same way you would look at a team that you expect to be there. There's no difference. Wow, this team's, below 500. Okay, years and years ago, well, it wasn't that long ago. It was close to 30 years ago. Yeah, I guess it is years and years and years ago. Ursuline finished their regular season below 500, or either at or below 500. They didn't have a good regular season, not for Ursuline standards. And they were playing a pretty good schedule. I believe they loaded up. Regardless, they were Division II at the time, and I think they still are. Anyway, Ursuline goes on this ridiculous run. I mean, a ridiculous run. And they go and they win the district championship. And they go into the regional tournaments at Canton Fieldhouse. And I'm following this team. And I'm oh Lord, I'm in my 20s. Didn't have any of the gray hair and didn't have any of the gray hair. I mean, I'm watching this team and I'm following this team, and we went, and I think they beat Mooney in the regional championship game. How these two teams didn't meet until the regional finals is beyond me. But that's what happened. These two teams did not see each other until a regional championship game. Cardinal Mooney played Ursuline. Mooney was the heavy favorite, and everyone was just like, oh, this is a Cinderella story, man. This is just, okay, God bless these kids from Ursuline, but sooner or later someone's just going to get up and whack them because they're below 500, and they just kept winning. Just kept winning. They blew out Mooney in the regional championship game. They go to Columbus, and they beat Gnadenhutten Indian Valley South. Beat them like a drum. And everyone's just like looking around going, okay, sooner or later, this just the run has to stop. They go up against the number 1 rated team in the state of Ohio that year, and I think they only had one loss or they were undefeated, and nobody gave this team a chance in hell at winning the game, and Ursuline winds up beating them on a buzzer beater putback. It's possible. And the biggest mistake that players and coaches and everyone makes, looking at the regular season record and assuming, well, this team isn't any good. Look at their record. When you get to a district final and then win the district, you're one of the 16 best teams in the state of Ohio. I mean, nobody should be looking at your record and assuming anything, because you just went and won your sectional and your district championship, and you might have played 4 games, you might have only played 3 games, but still, winning a district championship, that's not exactly something that happens all the time. You know, take it from me, a guy that graduated in a school that's never won a district championship in boys basketball. We've only been to, 3 district tournaments in the 80-plus year history of Leetonia basketball. We've only been to a district title game once. Lost to Western Reserve, who, by the way, went to the state semifinals that year. I'm just saying. At some point in time, you know, you just got to look at the records and forget about looking at the records, because this team's pretty good. Don't let this record deceive you. This team's pretty good. And there's a couple of teams that are in the regionals that you're looking at this and like, huh? How'd this team get in here? Well, again, the worst thing you can do is look at a team's record once you get into a district championship or a regional tournament. Believe me when I tell you. All right, 330-886-0813. The MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline, open for business. With you till 3 o'clock on this absolutely gorgeous Tuesday. Yesterday, I decided that it was a beautiful day, and obviously you got to continue to get the process of working out and whatnot. And walked the trail. There's a trail that was built recently. I don't know, about a few years ago, in my hometown. It starts in Washingtonville, just catty corner from the post office, up a little bit on the. If you're on Main Street, you turn at the post office, and maybe 100 yards from the post office, if that. I don't even think it's that. There's a little parking lot, and this trail will take you all the way into Leetonia. It's about 1.5 miles. A 1.5 miles to the end of the trail. They haven't connected that part of the trail to the other end of Leetonia, where the trail picks up and goes all the way out to Lisbon. And sooner or later, they're going to connect this to where it goes from Canfield, and I think north of Canfield, all the way down to Lisbon. Hopefully, at some point in time, and the plan is they're going to be connecting this, and it's gorgeous. I mean, it's a beautiful walking trail. It's cement, and there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, it's just absolutely gorgeous. And had an opportunity to walk back and forth. It's like 1.5 miles from where it starts in Washingtonville to down around the American Legion in Leetonia. It's about 1.5 miles, and then you turn around. It's like a 3-mile walk, somewhere in that vicinity. Fantastic. And it was a beautiful day. It was a really nice day to do it. Hopefully we'll get a lot more days like this so I can keep doing that, because that's big. Trying to shed some of the excess poundage. It's struggle, man. It's a tough struggle. The struggle is real. I'm trying to lose some weight, trying to look halfway decent. The struggle is real, I'm telling you. All right, 330-886-0813, the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline, open for business. Made mention in the first segment, the Steelers have officially told Bud Dupree, we're not franchise tagging you. We're not going to be franchise tagging you. You're going to go to free agency. So Bud Dupree is going to be a free agent. That would be code for he ain't coming back to Pittsburgh, kids. He's not going to be given the tag. Be curious to see who the Steelers tag, if anyone. You don't necessarily have to tag anyone. The Steelers telling Bud Dupree this morning they are not going to be tagging Bud Dupree. All right, so there you go. All right, we got regional tournaments and state tournaments going on. I'm looking at the teams that are left in the state tournaments. McDonald is 23-2. They're going to be taking on Waterford Thursday afternoon at 2:00. Waterford is 20-6. By far and away of the 4 teams left in Division 4, they have the most losses. But like I said, you don't look at that stuff. Fort Laramie is the team that has the best record in Division 4. They're 27-1. Anthony Hartwig and I talked a little bit about this Fort Laramie team. Fort Laramie is they're pretty solid. They're a very, very tough team, and we'll see. We'll see if McDonald is able to get to a state championship game, and if they do, how they would fare, more than likely, against Fort Laramie. The team that defeated South Range in the regional championship game in Division 3, Apple Creek Waynedale, will be taking on Ottawa Glandorf. The other D3 game is Cincinnati Purcell Marion against a familiar foe not only in girls basketball but in boys ball as well. That would be Berlin Highland. Berlin Highland is just ridiculous. If you ever get a chance, go down to Amish country and hopefully we're going to be able to get back to normal in terms of sellout crowds in the gymnasiums and whatnot. If we get back to normal, you got to do yourself a favor, whether it's watching the girls play or watching the guys play. Take a trip down to Amish country and check out this program. Unfreaking believable. They are insanely good. Not just the boys team, the girls team is ridiculously good. By the way, the boys team, they are in the regionals, and they're in the D4, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they're in the D4 regionals. They're playing Gloucester Trimble tonight at 8 o'clock over at Chillicothe Southeastern High School. The winner of that game gets the winner of New Boston, Glenwood, and Grandview Heights. Berlin Highland has been in the state semifinals every year, I want to say since 2008. It might be it actually might be a little further back. But Berlin Highland has made it to the state semifinals every single year for, I want to say, 13, 14, 15 consecutive years. They have been a state semifinalist in boys basketball. Crazy good. Absolutely bananas. All right, Division 2, Dayton Carroll will be playing Napoleon, and Shaker Heights Laurel. This is the team that knocked off Perry, who defeated Poland in the regional semifinals, and Laurel absolutely bombed Perry in the regional title game. Shaker Heights Laurel will be playing MacArthur Vinton County. And then in Division 1, Akron Hoban, that's the team that South Range played in the holiday tournament up at South Range. And South Range played Hoban really tough. Hoban is in the D1 state semifinals. They'll be playing 26-1 Newark on Friday afternoon, and then the Friday night game, Cincinnati Mount Notre Dame, undefeated in 26 games. They will be taking on Toledo Notre Dame Academy at 16-1. Boy, D1 is crazy good. Just really, really good. And again, this is something else when everything gets back to normal. If you're a fan of high school basketball, you really owe it to yourself to make a trip. Whether it's Columbus, whether it's Dayton, go see the elite of the elite and get yourself some tickets to the state semifinals and the state championship. Oh my goodness. The best of the best. High school basketball. It's phenomenal. It is absolutely phenomenal. Now, unfortunately, you're not going to be able to do much this year with COVID. And unfortunately, we've certainly limited the amount of fans. Now, that's good for business, good for us at YSN, but unfortunately, it was not good for those that wanted to see the games live. Now, like I said, fortunately, we were able to be able to give the fans what they wanted to see, and that's high school basketball. And we had some fun with it this year, and hopefully we'll be back to normal next year, where everyone can go watch their favorite high school team play live and in person. And if not, you can check it out on ysnlive.com. Speaking of which, ysnlive.com is about to make a major announcement. Loyal, local, and live. That is the mantra here at YSN. Well, the local and the live is going to be of a particular team in a particular sport that's played in the spring and summer. Is that good enough tease? Yeah, I think it is. We have an announcement coming up in just a bit. We'll do that and then take your phone calls on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline, 330-886-0813. We got a major announcement forthcoming. It is a Tuesday edition of Running Point presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown. If you're in the market for a brand new or slightly used automobile, before you put pen to paper, make sure you go to Greenwood Chevrolet. Check out Greg Greenwood and his staff. Give these people an opportunity to win your business. Believe me when I tell you, you are not going to be disappointed. Check it out. Greg Greenwood at Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown. Major announcement coming up next. Stick around. It is a Tuesday edition of Running Point on ysnlive.com.
Hello, I'm Greg Burbick with G. Burbick Farms. For the last 100 years, my family has farmed in Columbiana and Mahoning counties. I began raising cattle in 1996 with the goal of providing a better product for you and your family on the dinner table. Our grass-fed and grain-supplemented Black Angus beef are raised with no hormones, steroids, or antibiotics. We're known for our hometown-friendly service and incredible tasting products. We're locally owned and have customers across the tri-state area. Our products go from our farm to your family. Stop by our farm on New Buffalo Road or visit us on the web at gburbickfarms.com. Don't forget to like us on Facebook. G. Burbick Farms, it just tastes better.
Hi, this is Tommy Clem, owner of WRS Insurance Solutions.
WRS Insurance Solutions is a local, independent agency that specializes in life, Medicare, long-term care, and disability products. Call us at 330-953-3722 or visit us at wrsinsuranceSolutions.com to learn more.
Good luck to all the student athletes in the Valley.
Right now is a great time to get more for your trade-in at Tri-State Ford and drive home in a new or pre-owned vehicle. Choose from our great selection of new Ford models or pre-owned vehicles. Plus, get the Tri-State Ford Advantage, including a 10-year, 200,000-mile warranty and more. At Tri-State Ford, we'll pay you top dollar for your trade, but you don't have to purchase one of ours to sell us yours.
Customer focus, community driven. Tri-State Ford East Liverpool or visit tristateford.net.
Welcome back to a Tuesday edition of Running Point presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown. All right, major announcement forthcoming. Let us go to the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline, where we find the general manager of the Mahoning Valley Scrappers, one Jordan Taylor. Jordan, how are you today, sir?
Doing well. How are you doing today?
I wish that we were playing baseball today. I mean, it is an absolutely gorgeous day in the Mahoning Valley, and hopefully this is a sign of many, many beautiful days like this to come.
Yeah, I would take, for our season, I'd take 34 days just like this.
Yeah, no doubt. 34 is the magic number. That's going to be the amount of home games played this year for the Mahoning Valley Scrappers. And, well, since we're talking Mahoning Valley Scrappers, we have quite the announcement to make regarding our draft league affiliates in the Major League Baseball Draft League. Jordan, the floor is yours, my friend.
Yeah, so definitely super excited today to announce the partnership with YSN as far as carrying our games and just providing super in-depth coverage of the Scrappers as we're tying into our new league and really getting the word out on the great baseball that is going to be in the Mahoning Valley this summer.
Yeah, this will be the first year of the Major League Baseball Draft League. Jordan, you and I have been talking about this league and the fact that there is a really good chance that there's going to be even more talent coming into this league than as in previous years in the old New York Penn League. And this is quite an exciting time to be a part of the Mahoning Valley Scrappers and to be a part of a inaugural season of the Major League Baseball Draft League.
Yeah, I definitely say so. I mean, we were really happy as we went through. We had talked before about the long trying process of making sure that we had baseball here in Mahoning Valley, and in our talks with Major League Baseball. This concept of the draft league was really interesting and something we thought would be a great fit in the Mahoning Valley. And so far we've been really pleased with the relationship with Major League Baseball. It's very extensive. I mean, multiple calls a week. Really very engaged in getting this league up and running, and I think it's going to have a great benefit for the community for a long time.
Jordan Taylor, the general manager of the Mahoning Valley Scrappers. So the 2021 schedule is out. We have a partnership. YSN will be broadcasting the home portion of the Mahoning Valley Scrappers. Now, you can fill in the blanks as to what goes on when the Scrappers are on the road.
Sure. So when we are on the road, the way we're going to do things this year, as the league made the decision. So we'll be able to tie into the broadcast of the visiting team for any of the road games, but just due to safety, travel, that everybody felt it was best to have each team broadcast home games and pull feeds for road games this year.
Yeah, and it's a 6-team league, 68-game schedule. 34 games will be played at Eastwood Field. 34 games are going to be played on the road. The road consisting of the West Virginia Black Bears, Williamsport Crosscutters, State College Spikes, the Frederick Keys, and the Trenton Thunder. So, you go anywhere from Trenton, New Jersey, Frederick, Maryland, which is, I believe, about an hour and change outside of Washington, D.C. in the Baltimore area. And, of course, the three New York Penn League, or the two New York Penn League teams, there are three of them, State College, West Virginia, and Williamsport, very familiar terrain back in the old days of the New York Penn League. This is, and we've been talking about this is a league where it's invitation only. Tell everyone a little bit about the process of the players and how they're going to be selected.
Yep. So it's really a first of its kind league, and really the goal of this league is to provide each major league team an enhanced view of draft prospects in a super competitive environment, but also in an environment when they are, essentially starting to get acclimated to professional baseball and, the travel and playing every day, that, they necessarily get in their current situation. So we'll have majority of these players are going to be college players who are currently draft eligible. So that'll be the biggest group. We'll also see some players from the junior colleges as well that are higher end prospects, and we might get a sprinkled in of high school players. I think that may be more down the line, but those players were invited by Major League Baseball and Prep Baseball Report, who's helping us out with this. And really, the goal is, from a player standpoint, if, for example, right now, if Major League Baseball sees you as a 10th round draft pick, you generally would get a signing bonus on average of, say, about $100,000. If you come into this league, play well, and say even bump yourself into roughly a 5th round category, you're still talking hundreds of thousands of dollars swing in your signing bonus. So it's a great opportunity to come in, enhance your draft stock, and hopefully these players can make a lot of money by showcasing their skills in this league.
And the other part of this is it gets everyone ingrained as to what you're going to be expecting once you become a pro. And one of the reasons why Major League Baseball is going about this is the fact that this is, relatively speaking, I think it's like 8 games short of a normal season that the Scrappers would have played. But it gives everyone an idea of what is going to be expected if you become a professional baseball player and the day in, day out grind of professional baseball.
Right. Yeah, Ron, just from watching over the years, some of the best prospects, from college, can have a tough time getting acclimated to professional baseball. And this gives these teams a preview of how these players are going to respond to playing every day, practicing every day, going on the buses on different trips, and everything that goes along with being a professional player. And what it's going to do is allow each of these major league teams a better chance to make an informed decision. It gives an extra layer in the decision-making process for these teams who, in many cases are investing, hundreds of thousands of dollars to millions in some cases in signing bonuses for players.
Jordan Taylor, the general manager of the Mahoning Valley Scrappers. The Scrappers games will be heard on ysnlive.com, and I am really super excited because yours truly will be doing the baseball games. And for me personally, this is something I'm really looking forward to. Not only is Eastwood Field one of my favorite ballparks, it's always been something that I've wanted to do for quite some time to get into Eastwood Field and broadcast some games, and I'm looking forward to this venture. And we at YSN are really super excited to be the home of Scrappers baseball. And Jordan, the last time we spoke, you had said that the managers would be announced at a later time. Mm-hmm. Do we have an idea of when Major League Baseball is going to put that part of the puzzle together?
Based on my last call, which was Thursday, it's going to come pretty quickly. So they were waiting on. They wanted to make the announcements as a group with all teams, and they were waiting on one more potential person for a team. So I think once that's done, then they'll make those announcements. And from the names I've seen, I think people are going to be pretty pleased by the caliber of managers that are going to be in this league.
Jordan Taylor, the general manager of the Mahoning Valley Scrappers, joining us on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline. Again, the major announcement, the Mahoning Valley Scrappers games will be heard on ysnlive.com. Yours truly, Ron Potesta, will be broadcasting the 34 home games. When the Scrappers are on the road, we'll be picking up the feed of the home broadcaster as it pertains to that this would be a rule this year in the inaugural year of the draft league. And hopefully, knock on wood, when COVID is finally kicked to the curb, this will be a situation where the broadcaster can follow the team throughout the entire 68-game schedule.
Yep, no, I think so, for sure.
Jordan, you talked a little bit about Ken Griffey Jr. being a part of this in some way, shape, or form. What is the defining role for Junior going to be this year?
I think a big thing he does is what my understanding in the role is being a advocate for the players, not just in our league, but in some of the other leagues that are tied into this new system of minor league baseball, and really helping to show what it's like to be a professional player. And one of the big things with this league, ours in particular, I'll just speak to, is a big part of it is going to be bringing in players to mentor the groups that we have in each of our markets. So there'll be anybody from super high end big league players that'll come in to speak to maybe somebody who really grinded it out, was a late round pick and worked super hard to get to the big leagues and played a little bit, to guys who were first round picks and didn't make it. So they're going to be able to hear all these different stories and how to manage money and to what it's like to getting having PR training, things like that. So they're getting all of this while they're in this league, and I think what it's going to do is just make them more prepared once they get drafted and then move on to their respective organization.
Jordan, as far as the organization is concerned, you make the transition from being an Indians affiliate to an affiliate of this inaugural draft league. From my understanding, the players are not going to be paid, so this is an opportunity for the host families to continue doing what they have done in previous years, and that is open their doors to some of the potential draftees who are going to be playing in this inaugural season. And I don't think anything changes from the aspect of what you guys are going to be doing in your day-to-day operations.
No, it's really going to look, copy to what we've done, under our old model in the New York Penn League. So, from a promotional standpoint, we have 7 fireworks shows, which pretty much matches up. I think we've been between 5 and 7 every year with the Scrappers, so that matches up. Still doing the Buck Nights, bobblehead giveaways, all the things people have come to like on that side of things, from a fan experience standpoint, are all going to continue. So it's that's been a positive, and I think people, once they hear that, are excited that all that's going to stay the same, and they can come out and enjoy a great night of baseball on a nice evening in the summer.
Well, Jersey night giveaways could be all kinds of fun because, again, this is where the collectors come into play. You got to hedge your bets on which of these kids will ultimately be a major league player, and there may be a handful of kids that are going to be really, really special in the major leagues. So Jersey nights, much like when the Scrappers were an Indians affiliate, if you're fortunate, you may be holding on to some really good memorabilia down the road.
Yeah, it's we're looking forward to it. I mean, the one thing that's also going to be a little different is the timeline on when these guys are potentially going to hit the big leagues. So, with our partnership with Cleveland, they've done a tremendous job developing talent, but we were seeing, especially the last, say, 5 to 7 years, we were getting kids, our best players were sometimes 18, 19 years old, most always. So those guys are pretty far away from being in the big leagues. They're coming from Latin America, or they were potential high school picks who stayed a year in Arizona and then came to us the next year. These players are all going to be a lot further in their development system. Generally, college, 21 years old. So they should be a little bit closer to the big leagues as well, which is something that I think will be exciting as the league develops over the first 2-3 years.
Jordan Taylor, the general manager of the Mahoning Valley Scrappers, joining me on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline. Last time we spoke, we started talking about the geographical portion of this league. Let's say that there's a couple of kids from Youngstown State that get some look-sees from the Prep Baseball Report, and PBR says, you know what? we want to invite these kids to be a part of this. Naturally, they would probably wind up on the Mahoning Valley Scrappers team. Geographically, this could be a lot of fun. Now, unfortunately, the kids that are playing college on the West Coast or down south or in the Pacific Northwest, unless their hometown is in one of these hub cities, that's pretty much a draft then.
Right. So you hit it spot on. So the way the rosters are going to be comprised is that there will be a preference for local talent. So that could be, the Youngstown State Universities, the Kent States, Ohio schools, and then somewhat of a regional focus, around Mahoning Valley. Then, just as you mentioned, if it was a kid who, for example, made it to, say, for example, I saw there was a player who just signed with UCF from the area. So if he's at the point of being draft eligible and is invited into this league at some point in time, then we would most likely get him, which is great from a fan standpoint to be able to follow, some of these local players. Then after you go through that round, basically everything gets divvied up as equally as possible to keep rosters, balanced.
Jordan, there could be some really big names in college baseball coming into this. And I know some people are thinking to themselves, well, why would a first-rounder be a part of this? Well, okay, you might have an argument there, but folks that are projected to be drafted in the third or fourth round, let me tell you something. There is a sizable difference in bonus money between a fourth-round draft pick and a first-round draft pick. And I will guarantee you that fourth-round draft pick, or the person who is, air quotes here, supposed to be a fourth-round pick, they're going to want to play in this league to try to get themselves into the $1 million bonus.
Yeah, no, you're spot on, and I think also there's a lot of players who want to be in this league because, unfortunately, it was pretty much a lost year on the college baseball side last year, and these guys didn't get the looks that they're accustomed to getting, whether it was during the college season or most of them do play in the summer as well to enhance their stock. And that just didn't happen other than in, a couple rare cases where they were allowed to play some games. So these guys are now coming in and, really need to get at bats and be seen, by, as many scouts as they can, particularly players who may not be in the traditional powerhouse schools. Are playing consistently. Some of the schools in the Northeast and Midwest tend to get a lot of games, canceled or postponed, and they need to be looked at a little bit more closely. So this gives an opportunity for those guys to do that.
Now, some of the traditionalists have been wondering aloud, okay, is this going to harm in some way, shape, or form the Cape Cod League? And my answer to that is absolutely not, because these are going to be kids that are draft eligible, where the Cape Cod League, you weren't guaranteed that those kids were draft eligible.
Right. So we're all kind of in this new development system, under Major League Baseball. So you hit it spot on. Traditionally the players in the Cape League have one or 2 years to go. Same thing as the Northwoods League, which is another premier amateur league. Those players tend to go there after their first year or second year of college. So those aren't the players we're going after. So I think everybody's going to have their set group of players that fit into their respective categories, so not to harm any of the leagues.
Jordan Taylor's the general manager of the Mahoning Valley Scrappers. The Mahoning Valley Scrappers home games will be heard on ysnlive.com this year as we begin what is a brand new frontier, the inaugural Major League Baseball Draft League, featuring the Scrappers and 5 other former minor league baseball teams. They are all in this inaugural season together. Jordan, I need to ask, from an umpire's standpoint, I know that the New York Penn League and the Appalachian League and some of the other short season leagues were the beginning portion for the professional umpires. Are the umpires coming out of those umpiring schools going to be starting out in the MLB Draft League and some of the other college leagues that are now starting to get a lot more attention?
Yep. So I'm not quite sure of some of the other ones, but I know in the MLB Draft League, it will be the same grouping of umpires that we had in the Penn League. So just like you said, guys who are their goal is to be a major league umpire. So it will be the same caliber of umpire we had in the Penn League will carry over into this new league. Yeah, and that's overseen by Major League Baseball.
And Major League Baseball is not only on board with this, Major League Baseball is ready to market this, which marketing and Major League Baseball are not really said in the same sentence very often, but I'll give them a lot of credit. MLB Network has been playing this draft league up quite impressively in the last few months.
Yeah, they have, and that was a big part of why we felt this was a good spot for us to be moving forward is the muscle that Major League Baseball is putting behind this league, and the things that you mentioned on the MLB Network. That there's going to be more of that to come, and then also ties around the draft, which is going to become more over time is going to become a bigger deal as it's going to be tied into the Major League All-Star Game each year. So it's really going to provide some great opportunities for our league and recognition and, even things on the business side. We've been having regular meetings with Major League Baseball on ways to enhance business operations and, some of the strategies they can help us out with. They're reworking our website currently, so we get to be put under that umbrella, which is great in terms of some advancements that, can be on our site that we didn't have before. So, it's going to evolve over time, and, this first year, is the start of it. But I think as the years go on, that partnership with Major League Baseball is really going to pay dividends for the community and how we're able to operate.
Is there any opportunities for these games to be on the MLB Network?
I would imagine in time that could be something that they're looking at. But they haven't specifically mentioned that, but I would guess maybe that's part of a longer term plan. Again, it's I think the goal in all of this as well is to start promoting, getting these players promoted at a younger age, so baseball fans are aware of them, and just to develop longer loyalty to some of these players than you currently get under the old system. So I think you will see some more marketing promotions, especially at the younger levels on through what we're doing.
One of the things that I always looked forward to during the course of a minor league baseball season, around the trade deadline, you had all kinds of scouts and you had all kinds of farm directors and GMs coming down to various minor league ballparks and checking out players that they're interested in the trade deadline deals. And, you look at this, there's going to be room for not only a number of scouts. That's going to be something that's going to be in the ballpark on a nightly basis or a daily basis. I got to imagine there's going to be a high number of farm directors and general managers coming through Eastwood Field this year, representing all 30 Major League Baseball teams at some point this summer.
Yep, that's what we were told from Major League Baseball. Just like you said, that be prepared for that, and that there'll be a lot of traffic on that side of things, and also just to supplement, we're right now working with Major League Baseball that they are going to be installing some new updated technology equipment for player analytics into each of these draft league ballparks. So another nice thing with this is, each of these ballparks is going to get updated in that regard. And then all of the data that comes from these games gets to be shared by each of the 30 teams. So again, it's really just helping to make, because, you look at any baseball draft, maybe one of the biggest crapshoots, there is and of the professional sports, drafts, that it's just really hard to hit because of the process to become a big league player is so difficult. So the more that can be done to make the best decision as possible for these front offices. You know, it's going to help them when they're making these big investments on players, and hopefully hit on more players as the years go on.
All 6 of these teams coming from minor league baseball, 4 of them were in short season ball. Frederick coming from high A ball, if I'm not mistaken. Trenton coming from double A in the Eastern League, which was my last home stomping grounds many years ago. All 6 of these teams had television technology in terms of your video. Is that something that we're going to continue seeing, and especially when you're watching the games at YSN Live? Are we going to get a multi-camera look at things during the course of the season, Jordan?
Yeah, we hope so. That's one of the pieces on the business side that Major League Baseball is still working on with us, so we don't have any firm commitments. But like you said, I mean, we have multiple cameras in our ballpark, and you know many of the ones you mentioned, you know, we're tied into the old MLB network streaming system. So they're just kind of analyzing the best way to move forward on that end for us. So we should have more info on that pretty soon.
Okay, let's get down to the nitty-gritty, and that's this. Ticket sales. It's the lifeblood of any professional franchise, your season ticket sales. And I know 2020, unfortunately, minor league baseball as a whole did not play. What are the season ticket sales like? And for anyone that is interested in purchasing season tickets this year, being that the season is not that far away, give everyone the 411 on this.
Yep. So we have been, you know, selling tickets, you know, for the last handful of months. Generally, what we've done is people who have had tickets previously, you know, gave them the first option to renew those. So far, we've renewed, I'd say we're in the low to mid 80s in terms of renewals on ticket packages with people that have commitments in 2020. So that's a good start for us. Right now, if you go online to mvscrappers.com, all of our ticket packages that we have currently are available, so you can, you know, look at those. Phone numbers are there to call one of us at the office at 505 all zeros, and you know, we can certainly help you out. Look at, you know, what the best seating option is for anybody, and then also have groups on sale. You know, selling corporate sponsorships. So we're right in the heart of our sale season right now. So certainly would appreciate any support that's out. You know, this will be a big year for us as we, you know, after missing all of last season, to kind of jump back in here, and you know, we're really happy to be able to have a season and get things rolling again.
Single game ticket sales for those not interested or not able to commit to a full season. Give everyone the price range on the single game tickets and how much they're going to be.
Yeah, so they will be anywhere from $8 to $13 a ticket. So very, very affordable on Thursdays, as low as $1. And then the goal is to have those on sale, I'd say probably within the next month for any of the individual games. But right now you can go online and see what the game schedule's like. We're finishing up our promotional schedule, so we'll be able to tie that in as well, and you know, kind of pick what games fit best for everybody on an individual basis as well.
Okay, now the individual acts, one of my favorite parts of stuff. Now, I'm from the era of the Chicken, who has long since retired. The Superstars, which I believe is still in progress, still doing their thing. What are some of the acts that you guys have brought into or going to bring into Eastwood Field this summer?
Yeah, so the one you mentioned, Superstars, we actually do have them on the books for this year. So that's one of my favorites. So that will be coming back, which it's been a number of years since we've had them. And then we're looking at a couple others. There's Bucket Ruckus, which is really popular, which is kind of a musical type act. And then, you know, we're looking at a handful of other ones. So we'll probably do 3 or 4 of those kind of minor league traveling acts throughout the season, just based on when we can fit around, you know, their touring schedules.
Well, I'll tell you what, the games are going to be a lot of fun to broadcast, and with all of the people, all of the royalty from Major League Baseball that is anticipated to coming into the ballpark. Hey, you might be hearing a general manager in the bottom of the fifth inning coming into my broadcast booth, and we'll shoot the breeze while broadcasting the game. This is one of the cool things about this is the fact that nobody is going to know where any of these players go until about 2/3 of the way through the season, when the MLB draft actually takes place in concurrence with the Major League Baseball All-Star Game, which this year is down in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's correct. So it'll be cool, and we anticipate some Cleveland Indians draft picks on our team after the draft, but you also may get Pirates, Yankees, Red Sox. Could be any team. So it's if you're a fan of baseball as a whole, this is a great league to check out a lot of future major leaguers and on individual each of these, not just the Scrappers team, but on the teams that are coming through as well.
Jordan Taylor, the general manager of the Mahoning Valley Scrappers. You guys are insanely busy. Tell everyone when the home portion of the 2021 inaugural season of the Major League Baseball Draft League begins at Eastwood Field.
Yep, we will. Home opener this year is going to be on May 26th, and we open up with, I think it's a five-game homestand. So that first, I think it's a Wednesday through Sunday. We'll be kicking off the season. So we're right now gearing up that the weather's nice, getting the ballpark ready to go, and we'll be ready in a couple months.
And the beautiful thing about this is, number one, it'll be well after the YSU Penguins are done with their regular season, because the Penguins also play their games at Eastwood Field. That's number one. Yep. Number two, and probably giving you less gray hairs now that this was announced, the season itself is going to be finished before high school football and the Canfield Fair get underway.
Yeah, that was a really nice thing to see when we were talking through with Major League Baseball the time frame of the schedule, and not everybody's in the same lot as we are as far as the timing of the season, but we couldn't have asked for anything better to have more games in June, less in once high school football starts, and fair season in September. So it allows us to really hit in the sweet spot of when we traditionally draw our most fans.
Okay, before we let you go, obviously we made mention the draft is going to be during the All-Star Game, All-Star Week festivities in Atlanta this year. That's going to be in the second week of July. You still have a month of the season left. Is there an agreement in place where the players finish out the season, or is that going to be on a team-by-team basis?
I think for this year, and I don't know this for certain, but my understanding is it's going to be a team-by-team basis. I think as the league develops and goes on, I think you'll have more of the players just stick through the end of the year. But the anticipation is we'll lose some of these guys depending on how many innings they may have thrown by that point of the year if they want to give them a rest. But the other part of this league is the draft. The Major League draft has gone from 40 rounds down to 20 moving forward. So players, there's going to be an allotment of players who the next wave of guys who Major League Baseball wants to look at and potentially sign, but wants to see them a little bit more. So we may supplement with 4 or 5 guys if we lose them who would traditionally be drafted in rounds 21 through 40. We'll finish out and get a 2 to 3 week look, and then let a major league team give them the option to pick up that player at the conclusion of the season.
And that's
huge. I think it'll be So I think it's going to be a combination. So not unlike what we were dealing with in the New York Penn League. I mean, we would see 50, 60 players come and go during the course of the season. I mean, I think you'll still see movement, of players coming through, but again, it just allows for more opportunity to potentially catch big leaguers on their way.
Okay, I got to ask: are there going to be trades involved?
I do not think so. At least this first year, they haven't made mention of that. So all the roster shuffling is going to be done by Major League Baseball and PBR. So we're we're out of that. I mean, I think down the line there, could be some unique opportunities to do some, different events around player selection, movement, things like that. But I think for this first year, they want to have, assign the players for us.
Jordan Taylor, General Manager of the Mahoning Valley Scrappers. Welcome aboard the family of YSN. We pride ourselves on loyal, local, and live, and it doesn't get much local than the Mahoning Valley Scrappers. And I am more than excited to be the guy that's going to be broadcasting games live, the home portion of the schedule from Eastwood Field. Looking forward to doing games and really looking forward to getting back into a game that I absolutely love to pieces, the game of baseball, and this is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, same here. We've been, our office has been big fans of everything you guys have done over the last few years, and we're really happy to be part of that, and you guys will do a terrific job of covering us as we move into this into our new league.
Pre- and post-game shows are going to be all kinds of fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
I'm telling you, man, it's going to be an absolute blast. Jordan, as always, this is just counting down the days, and you're not going to take this smile off my face anytime soon. When the announcement comes of the new manager and the coaching staff, give us a sense of when, like a week or so, or somewhere.
I'd say within the next week to 10 days, if I was guessing, it'll be all finished up for sure.
And you said that the name is going to be a pretty familiar name.
I think will be popular for sure, and I think that's across the whole landscape of the league as well. So
yeah, this is going to be fun, and obviously it's a wooden bat league for the kids, which gives the scouts that much more of something to look at. Where in previous years, again, one of the other reasons why I love this league, in previous years, scouting consisted of looking at these kids swinging an aluminum bat, and there's a big difference between an aluminum bat and a wooden bat. And I think that this gives the scouts such a better look for the next 60-some-odd games. Give them a better look and see what exactly we're looking at in terms of a player.
Yep, no, I 100% spot on, and this will really enhance the the player development side of things, and it's going to be good for the players as well, because you can really boost up draft stock and can make a lot of money by playing in the league and doing well.
Circle the calendar, kids. May the 26th, the Scrappers begin the home portion of their season, and will be at Eastwood Field, guns a-blazing, ready to open up the home portion of the 2021 Mahoning Valley Scrappers season in the inaugural Major League Baseball Draft League. Jordan, always a pleasure. Look forward to hearing from you soon, brother.
Yep, same here. Thank you very much.
You got it. Jordan Taylor, the general manager of the Mahoning Valley Scrappers. Oh, God, I am so looking forward to doing baseball over at Eastwood Field in Niles. And, this is going to be a fun league. This is going to be an absolute blast. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. All right, 330-886-0813, the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline. Open for business. We're back in a bit. Stick around.
No matter what the weather, be prepared with a reliable, efficient Rude gas furnace or air conditioner from MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning. Call your energy-efficient expert, MP Vivo, today for a free estimate.
Here at MP Vivo, we rely on Rude, and so should you.
Myers Family Insurance knows the importance of a great team.
Our team continues to grow to help you with your Medicare and retirement needs.
The annual election period is October 15th through December 7th. Now's the time to make sure your plan continues to meet your needs for the upcoming year.
Call today.
High-res Futurecast shows steady snow for the next few hours.
Still just downright cold.
It is bitter out there.
Several strong bands of lake effect snow.
Winds is kind of the big story today as well.
So if you need a more detailed winter forecast on WFMJ.com and the Storm Tracker 21 app.
I went to Greenwood Chevrolet because I was really interested in looking at the tracks.
Because I wanted my dream truck.
Because I've been going there for 20 years.
I'm really happy that I went to
Greenwood Chevrolet.
Because they really went
the extra mile for me.
Now we're going the extra mile for you, only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
When looking for home design inspiration, don't just be inspired, be Baird inspired. Whether new or remodeling, Baird Brothers has the latest trends like shiplap to refresh your home. Go from inspiration to installation with our wide selection of in-stock American hardwoods. From the rustic charm of antique oak to the warmth of traditional cherry, Baird Brothers has what you need to make your home inspiring. Baird Brothers, our family's heritage, your family's home.
WRS Wealth Advisors is the area's premier wealth and retirement specialist. With our combined 70 years experience and comprehensive wealth strategy, we assist our clients attain their goals. Call 330-965-0370 to learn more about our individual and corporate financial planning services, or visit wrswealthadvisors.com. Good luck, athletes.
Hi everyone, this is DJ Yoakley with Your Sports Network. We appreciate your support of YSN and welcome you to the YSN family. Our broadcast streams are brought to you live at no cost to you by sponsors that are local to this community. Without the vision and generosity of our sponsors and partners, we would not be able to bring this game to you today. So please support the great businesses and leaders that are making this game possible. And if you're a business in need of great advertising and sponsorship opportunities, feel free to head over to our site for more information on the right fit for you. We are local, we are loyal, and we are live. We are YSN.
Ah, the details. Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods is one fine ride. Perfect cornering, superb handling, sporty and stylish, power to spare, plus awesome mileage. Yeah, jaw-droppingly beautiful lines and well appointed with luxurious trim. Put more oomph in your life and start beholding the molding. Find your home's fine hardwood at BairdBrothers.com.
For heating, cooling, and indoor air quality, the Mahoning Valley trusts MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning, offering worry-free repair, service, and installation. Call MP Vivo today for a free estimate.
MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning. We're your energy-efficient experts.
News doesn't stop after the sun goes down. Sometimes you just have to hustle to get it. At 21 News, no matter how far it is, no matter what it takes to get there, we're working to bring you the best stories and the freshest content at 11 p.m. with the context and clarity that makes it worth staying up for, no matter what time it is. 21 News at 11 with me, Aaron Simonek, and Derek Steyer.
21 News at 11, news that's worth your time.
Welcome back to a Tuesday edition of Running Points presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown. The MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline open for business, 330-886-0813. That's 330-886-0813. If you've missed it, the announcement is this. We are going to be broadcasting the Mahoning Valley Scrappers on ysnlive.com. And the boss has just come in, so mind your P's and Q's, Ron. DJ Yoakley in now grabbing at the microphone. And, man, this is a cool day for YSN. And our mantra here has always been local, loyal, and live. Loyal, local, live. First of all, it doesn't get any local than the Scrappers. And the fact that we're going to be doing their games live, we'll have a lot of loyalty from the Scrappers fans. So winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Yeah, I can't say how much this means to me personally. I know we're all excited. I've kind of told everybody in conversation, in backroom conversation, just keep it quiet until the time is right. You know, working with Jordan and with Heather has been an honor and a pleasure. But for me, Ron, as a baseball fan, that's kind of why we started YSN. Around here, baseball never got much in the way of
press or anything outside of, the newspaper sometimes. But, baseball is my first love. It was until I was 19 years old. And, you look at this and this is a dream come true. I was there in 1999. My parents were one of the first ones in the stores at the Eastwood Mall to buy a Scrappers shirt. And I still have that Scrappers shirt. I will bust it out. But when the Scrappers were in doubt, we worked with the folks, in part to save the Scrappers. There was Save the Scrappers campaign, and they had T-shirts, and I made sure that I had one of those as well. The Scrappers are near and dear to my heart because they embody what this Mahoning Valley is all about. We are a scrappy bunch, and to sign the dotted line on this one was emotional for me. It'll remain emotional, but for you, when you came in here, for those, and I hope I'm not digging too deep here, but when you came in here and you rolled the dice on YSN, I said, I can't promise you anything, but I promise you I'll always give you my best if you give me yours. And here we are a year later. We didn't celebrate our first anniversary, our first birthday, but a year later, here we are, and you're getting back into minor league baseball, man. What's it like for you?
It's weird. It's weird because I thought the door was closed. I didn't think it was ever going to be opened. And that's all right. A few years ago, I sat back and said, you know what? It's okay. I'm good. I'm good with being back in the area, and I'm good with being back doing high school sports. This is what I used to do, so this is good. And the bonus is I get to see some friends, and I get to broadcast kids that their parents were friends of mine through school. So this was cool. And then this opportunity comes around. Holy crap! Okay, well let's unlock this door. Let's see what transpires. And the cool thing about this is, and I know a lot of folks are going to sit back and go, well, it's not the Indians. Okay,
it's not.
It's not. You're right. It isn't the Indians. But you don't know which of these players, or if any of them, are actually going to be drafted by the Indians.
The way I look at it is the Indian with the former minor league baseball system, the way it was set up, and especially here in Mahoning Valley, is you had all your eggs in one basket. You know what I mean? It was the Indians or nobody, really, unless they get traded away. This is an opportunity to see some of the best players that could be playing for any team
exactly
in the major leagues at any time. And I think that's exciting. I mean, people poo-pooed this idea when it came out. You weren't necessarily an early adopter of the idea until you talked to Jordan.
Yeah, I was pissed that they got away with the New York Penn League and decided, oh, we really don't need this. And it's part of me is still not happy with the fact that you're going to be taking kids and drafting them and moving them immediately into low A ball. But this softens the blow.
Yep.
This really does. If you really think about this, all of these kids, at least in theory, are going to get drafted at some point in time, whether it's the first round or the 20th round. All of these kids at some point in time are going to be drafted. Now, those that aren't drafted, as Jordan said, they may be hanging around, and general managers and scouting directors or scout directors, farm directors and whatnot may look at these leftovers and say, okay, they weren't drafted, but this kid could fit into our organization some way, somehow. And I'll be honest with you right now, Jordan hit on this. This is not an exact science. No. About 5 years ago, there was a statistic that came out. First-round draft picks are hit the major leagues 66% of the time. That's not good. That's a terrible percentage. I mean, when you consider first-round picks in the NFL are about 90% that they play in the National Football League, if not more.
Yeah, but we've talked about this before. The minor leagues is set up to help sort out the ones that can cut it, the ones that can't.
Exactly.
The NFL doesn't have that. The NFL, you're drafted in, you're expected to play.
Yeah.
Now, I'd be more apt to agree with that statement if you go, okay, players that are drafted who are still there after their rookie contract.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
I think that's probably because you're not going to have 90%.
No.
You're probably down in the 60s, similar to baseball.
Yeah, well, this is we're not talking about everyday Major League player. We're talking about appearing in Major League Baseball.
Right.
So 2/3 of the roster for the first round draft picks going back to the first year the draft was implemented in 1964, if I'm not mistaken. 2/3 of the players make it to the major leagues. I looked at that and I was like, what? That's crazy. Well, this is going to give these kids an opportunity, albeit 8 games fewer than what the New York Penn League normally played, but that's okay. 68-game schedule. This is going to give these kids a crash course in what life is like on the professional level. Look, it's one thing to be in college, and we'll have Dan Bertolini on in a little bit. College ball is a little bit different than the pros. It's not an everyday, day in, day out. Hey, you're going to be traveling here. We're going to stay for 3 days, and then you're going to be traveling another venue, and then we're going to stay for 3 or 4 days, and then you're going to be traveling one more venue, and then you're going to be coming back home, and it's a day-by-day, daily, game in, game out process. Where in college ball, you get games on the weekends, practice during the week,
and schoolwork.
But it's not 24/7 baseball.
See, I would disagree with that. I would disagree with that wholeheartedly, and I think Danny would too. I don't want to put words in his mouth, but I played D3 baseball, and it was like having a job and high school baseball is fun. Everything up through high school, it's fun, and then you get to college, no matter what level you're in, and it is a job. I mean, you are fighting for.
I was starting from a game in, game out.
But look at. I mean, if you look at. I mean, even Richie, the announcer, traveling to Defiance he didn't have a whole lot of time, and he's a college kid. So you add in guys that actually have to go and play and do it day in, day out. They have practice, maybe twice a day sometimes. Pitchers throwing their bullpens, then they got to do polls, then they got to, everything like that. I don't think that it's much different. I think that's why it's going to work. This MLB draft league, because it's easing them into the process, right? These kids maybe have done the college route. He said they're going to sprinkle in some high school kids. There's some high school kids that really believe that their schedule is based around the way they do things in high school. It's, exactly, right? They have no clue.
You got no clue how this is going to work.
And I mean, that's everybody. I mean, think about it, Ron. We were boys and we wanted to play Major League Baseball. You didn't think about the road stuff. You didn't think about the traveling and stuff like that. You thought about standing in the box 60 feet 6 inches away from the Cy Young winner and hitting a ball out of the yard. Nobody thinks and dreams about the gruel of what they want to do when they grow up. My girls told me today, well, for the last week or so, that they want to be astronauts. They're going to be 4 at the end of the month. They want to be astronauts. And my wife, now I was all for it. They can be whatever they want to be.
Absolutely.
But my wife, God bless her soul, says, well, you got to do a lot of science and you got to do a lot of math. And I said, whoa. Like, you're ruining for them. Like, let them have their dreams.
Yeah, exactly.
When they're 16, 17, 18.
They're going to realize.
That's when you pepper on hey, you might want to get your grades up if you actually want to be an astronaut. Or you might want to get your batting average up if you want to be a draftable player.
Yeah.
We had a kid that's going to UCF in Brady Shannon. 3-sport athlete from Ursuline, could probably go in whatever sport he wants, but he knows the expectations of what he's going to have to do to kick it in. But we do a good job around here from our schools and our universities, and speaking of YSU, to prepare our kids for tomorrow, prepare our athletes, our student athletes for tomorrow. And that's why I think you look at kids like Colin Floyd, Colin Clark, Jeff Whaler, you can go run down the lineup. They're going to be prepared. If they're going to go, they're going to be prepared to do it. So
I'm looking forward to seeing if any of these guys get on the PBR map, because as we've mentioned, this is a regional thing. If there's schools from Ohio, any of these kids get their attention of PBR, they're going to be on the Mahoning Valley Scrappers.
Well, how does that work, though? That's the one I didn't hear you ask that.
Yeah, this is going to be a regional thing where schools in Ohio would essentially become Mahoning Valley Scrappers, kids that graduate from that college.
So if they're from Cali, they're not going to be a scrapper?
Well, if they're from Cali, that's going to be a draft thing. But if let's say a kid goes to Arizona State, but he grew up in Ohio, in all likelihood he'll end up with the Mahoning Valley Scrappers. Being that the 6 teams, we've got 1 team in Ohio, 1 team in West Virginia, 2 teams in Pennsylvania, 1 team in Maryland, 1 team in New Jersey. That area is going to be, New Jersey will probably be the Northeast that area will be picked off by the Trenton Thunder. Maryland will probably be the Mid-Atlantic states. But if you have ties, let's say, in our young man from Ursuline and down the road, if he decides he PBR puts him on the fast track to this draft league, he would probably be, he would be a Mahoning Valley Scrapper because he grew up in the Youngstown area.
See, it's interesting because there's a young man in Alliance who I heard really good things about over over the last week or so. I mean, he's a draftable kid as it is. Going to Ohio State, was going to join Jake Gehring down there. Gavin Bruni is his name, lefty. And he popped, I guess he had a nice performance, over 16 in a row, over 95 or 95 and above.
That's Jeff's kid.
From a lefty.
Yeah.
Yeah, he might end up being with the Mahoning Valley Scrappers. Or he might end up a first-round draft pick and might be with what, that's short A still? Or what are they calling it now?
Well, it's
just A?
A, yeah,
Okay.
It would be A ball. But this is the other thing that I think people need to realize, and we talked about the business aspect of this. There's a popular theme running around that there's the folks that are third round, fourth round picks. Well, they're not going to have any interest in this. You kidding me? Third and fourth round bonus money is not first round bonus money.
Right.
There's first round bonus money, and there's third and fourth round bonus money, and there's a big old space in between where if you're a fourth round pick and the bonus is somewhere around $400,000 and the first round pick is in the 7 digits, you want to be up into that level. Yeah. So those fourth round, the projectable people talking in their ears saying, well, you're going to be picked in the fourth round somewhere thereabouts. No. They're going to want to play in this league because you're going to get a crash course not only in what your future is going to be like in a day in, day out grind of minor league baseball, but it's also an opportunity for you, and you've made this comment numerous times, bet on yourself.
Always.
This is the biggest stage for the collegiate and high school kids that are blessed to be in this league. This is the ultimate you're betting on yourself league, because if you have an ass-kicking league and a year in this league, you probably go from whatever scouts and everyone was telling you all the way up to a first, maybe a supplemental first-round draft pick, and then you go into a higher tax bracket because your bonus money is going to be ridiculous.
Well, that's life-changing money. Right?
Absolutely,
we all look at this and we go, everybody wants to be a millionaire, not to spend it, but to maybe some want to spend it, but they want to set up their kids and their kids' kids and their kids' kids' kids. But you look at this, and this is an opportunity that not just for these kids, but for us. To be able to, I was talking to Brian before I got on here. I said, can you believe that 2 years ago we were broadcasting T-ball games and now we're broadcasting semi-pro baseball?
Yeah.
And all credits due to YS Nation. Without them, they're not watching, sponsors aren't paying, and nobody is
exactly
going to these games. So
and your kids aren't getting the G.I. Joe with the Kung Fu grip at Christmas time. So there you go.
That's it. I am just so excited. You and I talked about this first, and we said, okay, is this something you would want to do if we were able to set the table?
Yeah.
And you said absolutely. And you didn't even think twice about it. That's why I'm so excited, Ron. We bust each other's balls a lot. You and I.
A little too much sometimes. That's okay. That's all right.
But it's one of those things where you know what we're here for. We know what you're here for. And I promised you if there was ever a chance that I would present it to you. And I'm excited to be able to hear you broadcast minor league baseball again. You talk about it all the time, and we make jokes about it.
Yeah.
But it's something that you wouldn't talk about it if it didn't mean that much to you.
It was fun. It was a blast, and again, I didn't think the door would ever open, and I was good with it. I made peace with it years ago, but you know what? Door's open. Let's have some fun.
No, the door was closed. We kicked that son of a gun down, and that's it. With the help of Jordan and Heather over at the Scrappers, we're looking forward to meeting with them. Steve texted me and said, I'm going to buy season tickets. And that's the excitement that is YSN. We will support our local schools. We'll support anybody that's on that wall. We're going to support them.
Absolutely.
That's what we do.
Absolutely.
You're on the team. You're in the family. We will support you. So get ready. Get ready because we're going to be getting some Scrappers tickets. We'll be doing some giveaways. We talked to them. A lot of good stuff coming with this partnership. So,
and I'm just really looking forward to seeing who the manager is going to be. And they teased us that these names are very familiar.
You'll know.
I'm curious.
You're going to be excited.
I'm very curious about this, and the fact that you and I. Well, I think you're a bigger fan of his than I am. Not that I'm not a fan of his, because I love Junior, but Ken Griffey Jr. is giving the blessing of this league, and he's going to be a big part of this league. Can you imagine him? It's at Eastwood Field and comes into the broadcast booth. Oh, have a seat, Junior. Let's have some fun.
Yes. Yeah,
Let's have a little bit of fun talking about what you did in your years, and this will be good.
I will be frequenting Eastwood a lot this season, both for YSU and of course for the Scrappers now. But that would be one I would not miss. Ken Griffey Jr. is huge in what hat backwards. That's my guy. We heard the story from Senior about why he wears the hat backwards. But he was instrumental in so many lives of so many baseball players in my generation. And, I think he's going to do the same thing for this league. I think he's going to do the same thing for rejuvenating baseball. I know you talked about the bat flip yesterday. Yeah, that's about as close as you can get to a spike of a football, make it exciting. But, I'm on cloud 9 right now because it doesn't seem real. It doesn't seem. But this is for all those who believed in us from the jump. This is a present for them because whether it's video or audio, whatever, we've got you covered. No matter what. But to tune in on May 26th and see or hear the Mahoning Valley Scrappers on our network, welcome home.
Yeah, no
welcome
doubt.
Home.
This is going to be a lot of fun, and I brought up Major League Baseball Network because they have put themselves front and center in this league.
Oh, yeah.
And can you imagine the audio? Well, obviously, minor league baseball gave these 6 franchises years ago a lot of really cool equipment, which hopefully, fingers crossed, we're going to be able to use and have unbelievable camera angles and all kinds of other stuff that we're hopefully going to be seeing during the course of the broadcast. Fingers crossed, we're still trying to figure this one out. But can you imagine they're doing games on MLB TV, which I don't know if this is going to be the case or not, but down the road, if they're doing games on MLB TV from Eastwood Field.
And YSN.
And YSN's going to be doing those games.
The answer is yes.
That just speaks volumes where we look at this and we go, 3 years ago we were putting Leetonia and Crestview and a couple other schools on the board. Now we're on MLB TV. Holy crap.
So, I don't want to be cocky or arrogant, but I'm confident always in saying that this is the vision.
Yeah.
This was, when Netflix came about, everybody said, oh, okay, that's never going to work out. Blockbuster is going to just smash them like a bug. We got the same treatment. I remember that, what the hell is streaming? What are you talking about? Those stuff. And all of a sudden, 3 years later, Ron, we're sitting here and you look at it and you go, we have revolutionized, obviously with others, but we have led the way on sports streaming broadcasts. There they did a study on the National Federation of High Schools, NFHS.
Yeah.
They do 4 a week, and they thought that was a lot. And I read this article, and by the article, I laughed, and I thought to myself,
how many do we do a day?
We did 31 football games on a Friday night.
Yeah.
And not to mention, we had a couple volleyball games sprinkled in there. We have so much money invested into the OHSA just for games for postseason. And you look at that. We racked up $32,000 that we gave to the OHSAA. On top of that, another $30,000 we gave back to the school. So we gave away $60,000 of our money because this is something we believe in. But again, it goes back to I knew people would love this. I knew Brian knew people would love this. It was just, he looks at me sometimes a lot like everybody else does, kind of like, what? You want to do what? you know, when we did Audible Call.
Yeah.
I talked to Brian. He said, "You're going to do what?" No, we can't do that. We're not the Red Zone. We're not the NFL Network.
Oh, yeah, you can.
And sure as hell we did.
Yeah.
We were here till 6 in the morning on broadcast day. But, you know, the thing is we will never shy away from pushing the envelope. And that's from a content standpoint, page views. You know, 420,000 page views in the month of February. I think that's okay.
I think in the next football season, we should have a contest, like a weekly contest where a winner gets an opportunity to check out how the soup is made.
Okay.
How the sausage is made. Everyone gets to get a seat back here and watch the craziness happen.
And they got to sign a 2-year non-compete disclosure.
Well, no, I mean, you basically you're a fan and you're like, how the hell does this happen? Or at least have something where we're the behind the scenes of how we do the Friday night.
Listen,
football,
we're always taking those people.
Friday night basketball and whatnot.
We don't shy away. If somebody wants to tour the studio or see how you do your thing, or we do the Power Hour, or we do games, we're always at. I mean, COVID friendly, of course.
Of course.
We're steering away from that.
Hopefully,
nowadays.
that word gets out of my dictionary here pretty soon.
Your vernacular.
Ugh.
Yeah, but I mean, I like it. But we've had more than one person try to come in here and say, "Hey, I just want to see how you guys do it," and they do it, and they go, "Wow, I never thought in a million years."
Yeah.
Like, this place looks pretty big on TV on a stream, but it's. I guess it is kind of big, but
it's a good size.
But it's small. Like when there's people in here,
yeah,
it gets tight.
I mean, it's a little smaller now that you've got that big ass. I don't want to say a soda machine because there's no soda in there.
There will be a little soda. We got Body Armor. We got to keep caffeine going in here because that's what we run on.
Yeah.
But we brought that in here because our drinks seem to just disappear during the day. So now we got a Body Armor. Vending machine that you can buy your Body Armor. The guy that brought it in said, "You know what? You're gonna put it in here, but you should really put it outside because you can make some money off of this thing." And I'm like, "Oh." So I tried to move it after they left, like try to be like,
"Yeah,
that thing isn't going anywhere."
No, that's not going anywhere.
It's parked.
Yeah.
So
you're going to need a dolly and about 3 people to pick that bad boy up.
It only took 2 guys, and they were big guys. They were like pro wrestlers, but they brought it in. I'm psyched, man. Like we're hooked up. I feel like we're on the right path. We got the scrappers now, and you know, there's a couple other announcements we're going to have in the short term that are going to make people raise their eyebrow a little bit and go, "What are they do? How do they do that?" You know, and we're still waiting on the press release to come out for the scrappers. But Jordan was nice enough to say, "Hey, you're investing a lot into this. We want to make sure that you and Ron have the first, release of it before anybody else gets their hands on it." So
May 26th, it's on a Wednesday. We open up the season, the home portion of the season, after the first 2 games on the road in Morgantown, taking on the Black Bears of West Virginia. State College comes to town for a 2-game series. State College is going to be making a lot of trips to Eastwood Field. I think 2, 4, 7 games with the Spikes just in the month of May and June. So a lot of time we'll see State College. Hopefully, State College has some really, really good prospects or really high end draft picks.
I mean, I can say this because I've been able to witness it. I don't think, and I promised Jordan and Heather this both, that I don't think they realize the amount of coverage that they're about to get. We're going to do player profiles. We're going to do manager. We'll make some fancy name for it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the pregame show itself is going to have an interview with one of the players or the manager. I mean, that's
and we're doing it. We're going to utilize our streams and our what we use for our what people call Zooms nowadays. Which, by the way, man, if you're Zoom, you're feeling good because everybody calls it Zoom meetings. But we're going to be doing that, and we are still a very small business, so we'll be able to utilize those, cut the audio or video, whatever it ends up being, for you for those pregame shows and get you set up. But Steve Leslie's already said, listen, whatever we need to do, I'm there. So we're just excited. Ronnie, you've steered the ship so well. You're a fan of baseball. You're a fan of the Scrappers. It makes a lot of sense, and nobody's going to treat the Scrappers with more white glove service than me, because I've been a fan since I was in the 8th grade. So, it's a long time coming. I'm excited. I feel blessed and highly favored, and to be able to do what we do on a daily basis and say that we do it for a living. Come on, man. Like, we're living the dream.
Yeah, we don't work. This isn't work.
This is unbelievable.
Yeah, this is. I haven't worked a day in 30 some odd years.
Yeah,
I have too much fun doing this.
We're blessed, man. That's it.
No doubt. We had a lot of potential running points from Eastwood Field this year.
Are there a lot of day games?
There could be. I mean, we could have some fun with this. This is.
Well, how are you going to get the calls though?
Oh, you can get calls. I mean, there's we can somehow, some way get that happening.
Uh-oh.
I gotta think.
I see that look in your eye. I can hear Brian twitching.
I gotta think of an outlying thought of this where we can get Brian involved, but
he's gonna be twitching.
He did yeoman's work in here yesterday. Oh my goodness!
It's a power outage. I told you about it, right?
We were, Anthony and I are looking at each other going, this is supposed to be on. Why isn't this on? And I'm like, well, okay, let's do this. And then we called Brian up, and he was like, well, I can't come here right now. And I'm like, okay. So what do you want us to do? And he's trying to get us to do all this stuff, and we're unplugging stuff, plugging it back in, restarting stuff, doing all this other stuff. And he's like, damn. He goes, all right, I'll be over in about 5 minutes. Sure enough, 5 minutes come by. He comes over here, and he's looking. He's going 1,000,000 miles an hour in a 30-mile-an-hour zone, and he's like, okay, I think we got this. Turn it on. Nothing. Okay, I think we got this. No, not quite yet. Okay, now? Yep, we're good to go now. All right. I don't know how the hell he does it.
He's
doubt.
MacGyver. He's our guy. He's our Wizard of Oz. Behind the curtain, there's Brian. He doesn't want anything. Anytime I'm ever like, hey, do you want something? Do you want this? No. As long as we feed him, and provide him caffeine.
There you go.
And it's one of the things that I always do during my broadcast is I always thank Brian at the end. On behalf of all of us at YSN, the owner Brian Scott, because nobody sees him do that stuff. Nobody sees him on these shows, and he's the reason that everything works. There's times where it breaks down, and I just go, Brian, I'm sorry. Like yesterday, I broke the printer. No idea. Like I physically broke the printer, and I told Brian, I said, man, this one's on me. I apologize. He's like, well, I can't get to it for a couple of days. I said, no, I'll go get it because I broke it.
Yeah.
But he's so used to it on a nightly basis. Any tech guy understands what Brian goes through on a daily basis. And then you multiply that times 31 on a Friday night, plus all the shit that I put on his plate, that he's got to do back here.
Yeah.
If I ever disappear, you'll know Brian was the one that took me out. There's two suspects, my wife or Brian.
No, your wife would never do such a thing. We automatically get her out of
She's waiting for us to hit the big time with the paychecks.
Yeah.
And then if I disappear, the odds are it's my wife or Brian. So out of those two.
Well, if someone signs a life insurance policy, then we're going to know where,
There you go.
Where the bread just got buttered, if you will.
There you go.
Now, I'm looking forward to this. This is May 26th can't come fast enough, and the good news is my lenses are going to be already here, and I get to pop those bad boys in next week. I'll actually see 2020 now.
Hey.
Yeah. And then umpiring is perfect because the baseball season for me will be over by mid-May, so bring on the scrappers.
You're good. You got your side hustle, your summer hustle.
Yeah, bring on the scrappers. 34 games, and again, it's everything is normal in Scrapper Land. They're doing season ticket sales, group sales, and
that's good.
And fireworks galore. I think they have fireworks on opening night.
I got to check into this. What is it? Superstars? What is
Superstars. That? It's a how do you explain it?
Is it kid friendly? Is that what it is?
Oh, absolutely, it's kid friendly. Harry Carey would in Superstar Land. It's Harry Canary.
Oh,
so they're zoo-themed animals named after baseball legends or sports legends.
What do they do?
Basically, it's one person that's inside of this, and they're doing all kinds of stuff. The not a balloon, but it's more of a cartoon caricature type of thing on the outside with people on the inside, and you will see this thing like a Weeble fall to the ground and then bounce back up, and a bunch of other crazy stuff.
I'm in.
It's actually pretty cool. I wouldn't go anywhere near the inside of that thing, but it was pretty cool how to see how that was made as well. But
the girls will love it.
Oh no, it's kid friendly. There's a lot of acts in baseball that are kid friendly, and I grew up with the chicken. He's now retired, unfortunately. But that was interesting too.
I can't wait. The girls love baseball. I FaceTimed them from the batting practice in LSU.
Yeah.
And they were asking when they can start playing. And they kept saying, can we play when we're older? Can we play when we grow up? I said, of course, but I can sign you up for T-ball this year.
Yeah, exactly.
And they were amped. They don't know. I'm going to send them up there my wife wants to send them up there like Barry Bonds with elbow guards and helmets, and you can't have enough protection for the Twins. But I told her, I said, that's what summer's for, is to get the scrapes and the boo-boos and the summer skin, as she calls it.
Absolutely.
So I told her, I was like, baseball, it's T-ball. You got to learn how to take it.
You're hitting the ball off of a tee.
Yeah. No. But do they still? Now, it's been a while since I guess 2 years since I've seen a T-ball game. Do they still toss it first and see if you can hit it, and then if you don't hit it in the first couple, then they put it on the tee? I think that's the way.
I think that's how they do it.
So
and those that are consistently banging the ball from coach pitch go into coach pitch.
Well, you can still only get a single. You can't. I think the last kid in the inning gets to run all the bases. So it's just you stack the bases with as many kids as you can, and then the last kid gets to run them all. You don't get out in T-ball, which made the broadcast very difficult, very challenging. I showed up, and we had a schedule. It was just you show up every Friday, and I showed up one Friday. They were like, hey, we're going to try T-ball. And I went, huh? Okay, let's give this a shot. We've done coach pitch.
Yeah.
I've got no problem doing coach pitch.
Yeah.
Minor, all the way. And then we did T-ball, and I was like, but you know what? The show goes on. So if they're paying you to do something,
you do it. You have some fun with it.
And the enthusiasm was through the roof.
Absolutely. You have to have some fun with that.
It was a perfect game for the coach. So.
By the way, speaking of T-ball and just baseball in general, as everyone knows, I do some umpiring on the side. A little bit of a different rule for high school baseball that was supposed to have been incorporated in 2020, and of course everyone knows what happens in 2020. We didn't have high school baseball. There's going to be a different venue on the designated hitter in high school ball. You will have 3 different options to use when you're doing a lineup for the coaches. Straight 9, which does not include a designated hitter. Everyone in the lineup gets to hit, including the pitcher. A DH, where the DH is going to be in the spot of the player that is not going to be hitting during the course of the game. And a DH fielder, where if the DH is in the lineup as the DH and he goes into the field, he is still batting in the same spot in the lineup. It's just the player that he was taken out of the lineup. Well, actually, the DH fielder is 10 players in the lineup instead of 9. It's now 10 players in the lineup instead of 9. Confuse the living daylights out of me.
You know who you need to ask about that? Danny Bertolini, because we're a little bit behind.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah,
he just texted me. I was like, uh-oh, we're in trouble.
Yeah, we might be in trouble with a teacher. Yeah, that's and he's got a lot to crow about. I mean, good God, they're 3-1.
He's asking me. He's like, hey.
The first big time starts in like 10 or 15 years.
He wants to talk. So let's.
He definitely wants to talk. So
let's give him his platform.
I feel like we've taken some of his time away. It's he gets off to a 3-1 start, and here we are talking about T-ball.
Well, here's the thing. I'm ready to fight him whenever he wants. He still threw down the Browns versus Steelers thing, and it's still a little bit sour.
Did you see Bud Dupree is not going to be franchise tag?
I don't care. Yeah. He's not going to be good by the time season starts anyway. We'll get somebody else.
God, I can't. I mean, obviously we want the summer to get here now, especially now with the Crappers. But part of me has got an eye on September. Like, okay, I can't wait to have that start up again, because that's just Too much fun.
I'm fighting him.
All right, Dan Bertolini coming up next. Stick around, more to come.
New things happen all day. Some are good, some not so good. In today's complicated world, while you're busy working, playing, and living life, we're busy helping you make sense of the day's news. And there's only one place where it comes together with clarity, context, and accountability. It's 21 News at 6 with me, Madison Tromler, and Derek Steyer.
21 News at 6. It's what the day's news really means to you.
Welcome home to a home made homier with Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods. Inspiration starts at BairdBrothers.com and is turned into reality when high-quality hardwoods are delivered right to your home. Baird Brothers has the latest design trends, shiplap and skinny lap interior siding, antique oak rustic flooring, and, well, you'll find them all at BairdBrothers.com. Ordered easily, delivered conveniently, enjoyed comfortably. BairdBrothers.com.
Wrs Wealth Advisors, the area's premier wealth and retirement specialists. Located on South Avenue in Boardman.
Hi, this is Jim Myers with Myers Family Insurance, your local Medicare and retirement resource. We're excited to have sports back. Whether you're on the field or cheering from the stands, sports unifies communities and brings hope for the future. We're all one team working together. At Myers Family Insurance, we know the importance of a great team.
Our team continues to grow to help you with your Medicare and retirement needs.
The annual election period is October 15th through December 7th. Now's the time to make sure your plan continues to meet your needs for the upcoming year.
Call today.
Hi, I'm Colin Chupa. And I'm Kelsey Clem from K2 Marketing. Our boutique marketing firm specializes in media planning and buying, public relations, event marketing strategies, and strategic sponsorships. We can integrate our services with your existing game plan, or we can be your entire marketing team. Your goals, our game plan. Let's win together. Call K2 Marketing at 330-623-2730 or visit ksquared.marketing to learn more.
Welcome back to a Tuesday edition of Running Point presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown. Over the weekend, Youngstown State taking 3 out of 4 from the Mastodons at Purdue Fort Wayne. And joining me to talk about the weekend's success, the manager of the YSU baseball program, Dan Bertolini. Dan, how are you today, sir?
I'm doing great. It's 60 degrees outside, so it's a good day.
Yeah, an extra spring in your step, and why not? You guys go to Defiance High School because Fort Wayne, Indiana was not conducive for baseball this past weekend, and you take care of business, knocking off the Mastodons 3 out of 4, and doing some really, really impressive pitching and hitting along the way. This was a great opening conference series, Skip.
Yeah, it was just good for our guys. I thought overall that was probably the best we've pitched the baseball in a series in a long time, especially from a starting pitching standpoint. Our guys did a fantastic job of. I think our starters allowed only 4 runs over their starts in the 4 games. So, anytime you can get those kind of quality starts from a staff, you're going to be in good shape. And, I thought Purdue Fort Wayne did a nice job on their side throwing the baseball, keeping us off balance, and we found a way to win. We would love to have that game number 3 back, but we'll take 3-1 opening weekend and put us in a good position in the Horizon League.
Well, the 2 Collins, unbelievable. I mean, both quality starts. The first game of this series, you got a starter that goes a little over 6 innings and only gives up 3 earned runs while punching out 5 and 6 2/3 innings in Colin Clark. And then in his second game, good night. Complete game shutout by Colin Floyd. He punched out 8. More importantly, Skip, he didn't walk anybody. I mean, that was just a dominating performance by Colin Floyd. 106 pitches, 74 of them in the strike zone. That was just an unbelievable performance by Colin.
Yeah, it was. That was one of those ones where we just kept putting him out there, and it was really low stress. I think they only had 6 base runners all day long. So he did a great job it started out a little, he threw a good pitch to the leadoff guy. We thought he swung, kind of threw a back foot slider and hit him to start the game. And then his cleat got caught on the mound. We were on a turf mound. His shoe kind of got caught, and he hit the second batter of the game. And after that, it was pretty much cruise control the rest of the way. Did just a fantastic job. Both those guys. I mean, when you're all four of our starters through 6+ innings, that's a recipe for success. But Colin Floyd is a guy that could easily be a number one on most staffs, and he's a sixth-year senior. He really does a great job of preparation, and just really happy for him that he was able to do it. I'm sure, hopefully, when they come out tomorrow, he'll be Horizon League Pitcher of the Week. It was just really, and John Snyder, it wasn't too bad himself, throwing six no-hit innings as well. So it was just good overall for our staff.
Yeah, I was going to say John Snyder goes 6 no-hit innings, punches out 12, gives up 4 walks in the 6 innings. The Penguins wind up losing the game 1-0 in a kind of a weird format where one of the 2 games in your doubleheader was a 7-inning game and the other one was a 9-inning game. And I'm a baseball guy. Give me 9 innings. I don't understand why we play 7 innings. And it was done this way in the minor leagues as well. Baseball's a 9-inning game. I don't like the 7-inning format.
Well, a lot of it's for timing for players. It's just a long day. You're playing 36 innings. Definitely, it's a little bit different strategy-wise. Things are a little bit different when you throw the 7-inning game in there. But yeah, he was as good as I've seen anyone all year. He was incredible. I don't think, they put 5 balls in play against them all day. So, and talk about a dominating performance, that was about as good as you could get from a starting. And it was just one of those crazy things. We had runners in scoring position, I think 4 out of the first 6 innings of the game, and we just weren't able to get the hit to get them in. We had a runner on third and 1 out, and our 3 or 4 or 5 hitters at the plate. You feel like, they had good weekends, both of them. You just feel like they're going to get the big hit when you need it. We just weren't able to come through in that game. They don't get a hit until the very last hitter of the game. So it's just a weird way to lose, but I was proud of our guys bouncing back in the second game of that doubleheader and putting 13 runs on the board and playing a really solid game.
18 hits in that 13-run outburst, and Braden O'Shaughnessy went 4 for 5. Got a home run. Speaking of home runs, so did Jeff Whaler, so did DeSanio. There was lots of hitting going on. I got to put out one person in particular who had a really good weekend series, and that's your shortstop, Philip Glaser. He had multiple hits, and I believe in 2 of the 4 games, and man, he was dotting the ball all over the place, Skip. He's
a really special kid. Just one of those guys that does everything the right way, works extremely hard. He's probably from a national standpoint, from a D1 baseball or whatever, those publications, probably the most underappreciated player on our team. He does everything for us. He plays great defense. He's been a table setter for us all year. He's had, some really big hits, and he's a great player. We're fortunate to have him in the, as a shortstop, as a leader of our defense. He had a great weekend. He actually had a huge play for us in that game, even though we lost. It was to get to third base. It was a foul out down the right field line. Their right fielder slid and caught it. He tagged from first base. It got all the way to third on the play. And gave us an opportunity to take the lead there. So he's just a heads-up, smart baseball player, and he's off to a really good start for us.
There's a number of kids that are off to good starts, swinging the lumber. I see that Braden O'Shaughnessy is hitting .389 to begin this season. Jeff Whaler, even though the average is at .280, he has 2 homers. He's driven in 7 runs in 12 games. We made mention Glaser is having a tremendous early portion of the season. There's DeSanio, even though his average isn't all that great. He's slugged 3 home runs. He's driven in 6 runs. There's lots of lumber on this team this year, Skip.
Yeah, it's a dangerous lineup from top to bottom. And Caruso and Dylan Schwarmer had a great game for us in his start in the fourth game of the series. Lucas Nasani, they're veteran, older guys that can move the baseball around, and they can get big hits when you need them. But from top to bottom, it was just a really solid lineup for us. And there's some guys that come off the bench. I mean, Braden had a big hit in the seventh inning on the game on the whatever that was, the Sunday game, the first game, and then followed it up with 4 more hits in game 4. So yeah, I mean, it's pretty versatile. Guys can come off the bench. You never know who could beat you. We're going to need all these guys this weekend as we take on a tough opponent in Wright State.
Before we get into Wright State's, you've got a tremendous bullpen as well. Gary Cliff Jr., he has 3 saves on the campaign. You've got Joel Haight coming out of the bullpen. Chad Coles comes out of the bullpen as well. You got some solid arms, not just in the rotation, Skip. You got some solid arms top to bottom, which is something that the Penguins showed flashes of in the 14-game season last year. More of the same this year, and that the excitement level for this team is starting to get bigger and bigger, looking at the amount of talented arms that you have at your disposal.
Yeah, I mean, and the guy that you didn't even mention was Dalton Eric, who I think he had 4 of the biggest outs of the whole series. Was when he came in. IPFW started to make a comeback in the Sunday game. We had a large lead, and they start to chip away and come back. They had a big 7th inning. He comes in the 8th inning and is able to kind of shut the door. He got us out of the inning, and then throws a perfect 9th inning to kind of seal the deal for us and really kind of stop the bleeding there. But our back end bullpen is strong, and it's really a luxury when you get such great starts from your starting pitching. It makes it challenging because we have a lot of good arms. Nathan Ball is a left-hander that's done a nice job for us. That hasn't had a ton of opportunities just because of the situations that we've been in. Our starters have done a good job of getting deep into games, so we can be very we can kind of pick and choose and be very strategic on when we use our arms and how we use them. They're guys that can bounce back quickly, and so yeah, I think we have a good mix. This is by far the most talented pitching staff we've had in a long time here at Youngstown State, and I think that that's how we wanted to build it. We want to have great pitching and play great defense, and obviously our offense has done some good things, and we're going to continue to get better and better. But it's not just the starters. Whoever has to come in those situations, they're an extension of that starting pitching, and with our experience and our depth and our bullpen, I think those guys, I feel comfortable in any situation. All 4 of those guys can close the game out for you.
Dan, before we start talking about Wright State, talk a little bit about the quality of playing conditions that you guys had at Defiance High School. This series was supposed to have been played on the campus of Purdue Fort Wayne in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Unfortunately, they weren't able to play the games on campus, so they went into Ohio. Defiance, about 10 or 15 minutes from the Indiana border, and they were able to get Defiance High School to host these games. Talk a little bit about the facilities at Defiance High School.
I mean, you want to talk about a luxury for a high school. They had a turf, pretty much brand new turf facility, which played perfect. The fences were a little bit shorter than typical, but the way the wind was blowing, and it was pretty cold this week, and it played pretty true. They have an indoor facility attached to their field. They've had a lot of former big leaguers there. Joe Neese is one of the guys that kind of donated back, and Chad Billingsley. Some recent guys that have been in the big leagues, but they have a beautiful facility. We're very fortunate to be able to use it. I think it probably rivals most of the mid-majors teams in our conference. I mean, in the country, as far as the facility goes. So we're fortunate to get a chance to play there. And anytime you can play on turf, especially with this kind of weather, it definitely helped.
All right, so Youngstown State will be taking on Wright State. This will be the first of 2 series with Wright State. We'll get these guys back up at Eastwood Field in a couple of weeks, but you make the drive to Dayton this weekend, a 3 o'clock start on Friday afternoon, a doubleheader on Saturday. Game 1 starts at noon, Game 2 starts at 3 o'clock, and then a Sunday afternoon affair beginning at 1 o'clock. Wright State 4-0 in the Horizon League. They swept a weekend series. This is a team that opened up the season against Vanderbilt. They also played Alabama, 2 teams out of the SEC. 3 losses by 1 run. This is a pretty solid baseball team, and they're the benchmark. They've been the benchmark of baseball in the Horizon League. And this is a great test for the Penguins this weekend when you guys travel down to Dayton.
Yeah, absolutely. They've been, they're off to a good start. They had a solid beginning of the season last season, and they're gonna be a great challenge for us. I think from top to bottom we're pretty well even as far as the matchup standpoint, starting pitching, hitting. We're going to be 2 very similar teams. They're going to pitch the ball at a high level. They have guys that can beat you all over the lineup. So it'll be a good challenge. I'm looking forward to kind of seeing what we're made out of, because in the next couple of weeks we're going to find out really what we're made out of. We play Wright State our next 2 Horizon League weekends with a non-conference weekend against St. Bonaventure. So a lot will be kind of decided a little bit early on in the Horizon League. And we know that, we have a lot of respect for Wright State and what they do. But, our guys are very confident. We feel confident going into the weekend that, this is going to be a knock 'em out, drag 'em out type of weekend where, you're going to have to play good baseball all the way around in order to win. I mean, they have the Horizon League preseason player of the year, Tyler Black, who's been off to a good start. Their starting pitching has been really, really solid. Jake Schran's a guy that gives them an opportunity to win on every Friday. Bradley Bremer's been a guy that's pitched a lot for him over his time there. He's a quality start. So it'll definitely be interesting to see kind of where we're at. But I feel really good with this group, and I'm very confident going into the weekend.
All right, is your 4-man starting rotation pretty much set, Skip? I realize that the 2 Collins it's half of the rotation, and Snyder has pitched so incredibly well. Are you in the? Have you nailed down the 4th starter?
Yeah, I think Nick Perez. We didn't really talk about him much, but his first career Horizon League start, second career start, goes out and throws 6 innings, gives up 1 run on, I believe, 4 hits. So, he pitched incredibly well for us, and he earned his first college win. So he's going to be the guy that we'll look to probably on Saturday in the second half of the doubleheader. And so it'll probably go Colin, Nick Perez, and then John Snyder on Sunday. So we feel good with those guys, and we have a lot of guys that can come in and help in those situations. I know Travis Perry didn't have his best outing this past weekend, but him and Matt Broski are talented arms that could be in that mix for a starting spot. That will be sort of those long reliever type arms, as well as Andrew Russell. Those 3 guys are kind of mixed into that long relief if anyone needs some help. So, but that's really where we're at as far as our 4 starters go, and hopefully we'll continue to pitch at a high level.
Dan, before we let you go, and we're speaking with the YSU baseball manager, Dan Bertolini of the Youngstown State University baseball team. Penguins off to a 3-1 start in the Horizon League, and that's the best start since, I believe, 2010. So it's been a while since the Penguins have had this hot of a start. You brought something up in regards to the 7-inning game and a 9-inning game. From a manager's standpoint, what are some of the things that you do in a 7-inning game that you don't necessarily do in a 9-inning game?
Well, you're probably going to look to you might sacrifice some outs earlier in games to try to score some runs early in a game, whether it's whether it's a sacrifice bunt, whether it's, trying to hit and run a little bit more, create a little more action to try to manufacture a few runs early in the game, just because you have two less opportunities to score. So, from an offensive standpoint, that's definitely something that we try to do. If you can get a run in the inning, especially early in the game, that can help, because it just is it's a little bit quicker. The game is over just that much quicker. 6 less outs. That's probably one more time through your lineup. At least the top half of your lineup's getting to hit one less time. So, and then from a pitching standpoint, for us, Colin Floyd fits into that mold pretty nicely. He's a guy that you're going to expect to get you 6 quality innings every time out there, at least, and then potentially into the 7th inning. And if he can do that in a 7-inning game, it saves your bullpen. You don't really have to use many arms in that situation. So now you have 2 games left with all of your arms kind of intact, all your bullpen pretty much ready to go. As long as your starter, we feel good with Colin that he's going to get you, a really quality start in that 7-inning game. So that's sort of the strategy. I guess we'll see what happens when it kind of plays out. It worked out pretty well for us last week, but we'll see how it works this week.
Which game are they going to be going, hey, this is the 7-inning game? Is it predetermined what game of the doubleheader gets to be the 7-inning game?
It's always the first game. So the first game of the doubleheader is a 7-inning contest, and then if it would go extra innings, so say you go into the 8th, then the second game would become a 7-inning game. So they do that just to save some time and save some sometimes it could be daylight as well. But, yeah, always the first game of that doubleheader is your 7-inning start.
Yeah, you learn something new every day. All right, I know you got practice. Congratulations on the amazing start that you guys have in conference play. And let's have some fun this weekend, and let's take care of business taking on Wright State this weekend. Yeah, looking forward to it. Should be some good baseball. You can catch it on, I believe it'll all be on ESPN Plus. So if you're looking for some good baseball, I would check that game out this weekend. And next weekend, St. Bonaventure comes to Eastwood Field. We'll open up the home portion of the season. We'll be all over that weekend series, and then Wright State comes back here. So no rest for the weary. You'll see Wright State pretty quickly. Yeah, we like I said, you'll find out a lot about our team here in the next couple of weeks, because we got we play the traditional blue bloods of the conference. The next 4 weeks, you have Wright State twice, UIC, and Milwaukee. So it should be some good baseball. No doubt. Dan, always a pleasure, and a beautiful day today. You guys can play baseball on the outside, and that's always nice to have in this type of year. Yeah, I think tomorrow is going to be our first day. We'll get out to Eastwood Field and get some practice in. Today we'll be kind of out on the turf here on campus, and then tomorrow will be our first day out at Eastwood. We're looking forward to it. All right, Dan, always a pleasure. Look forward to catching up with you next week. Sounds good. Thanks, Ron. You got it. Dan Bertolini, he is the manager of the Youngstown State University baseball team. Penguins off to a really, really good start. They took 3 out of 4 from the Mastodons of Purdue-Fort Wayne. That 4-game series played at Defiance High School, and my ears perked up when he said Chad Billingsley, because Billingsley was drafted by the Los Angeles Dodgers. And, I'm going to date myself here. In 2005, Billingsley played for the AA team, which happened to have been Jacksonville. And our team, or the team that I broadcast for, we were regular season-wise the best team, not only in the Southern League, we were the best AA team in minor league baseball from a record standpoint, and wound up playing Jacksonville for a Southern League championship, a best-of-5 series. First 2 games were down in Jacksonville at the ballpark. The baseball, how did they call this? The ballpark at Jacksonville, or some crazy thing. It's now Bragan Field, in honor/memory of their late owner. And then the final 3 games were in Jackson. They wound up beating us in 4 games, but Chad Billingsley, you pretty much knew right away Billingsley was going to be a big leaguer because his stuff and just the way he carved up Double-A hitters. You pretty much knew that this kid was going to be a big leaguer, and his career wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be, but he did get to the major leagues, and again, bonus baby. It was good to see him giving back and being part of the tremendous field and tremendous just a ballpark that they have at Defiance High School, and it was cool to see Defiance hosting a Horizon League weekend series between the Mastodons of Purdue Fort Wayne and our YSU Penguins. All right, we'll take a timeout, be back with more. 330-886-0813. The MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline open for business. We're back in a bit. Stick around.
Baird Brothers remains your source for fine hardwood products. For the time being, we're open for customer pickup only on weekdays, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Saturday from 9 a.m. till noon. Place your order online at BairdBrothers.com. Baird Brothers, for the place you love.
Quality, customer service, and integrity. Those are the 4 words that have driven our success since 1957 at Joe Dickey Electric.
Joe Dickey Electric is one Mahoning Valley landmark business that stays current with the requirements of our customers. Family owned and managed, we are an electrical contractor and energy solutions provider. Every member of our team adds to his or her skill set through ongoing training. Residential, commercial, industrial, automotive, and more. We keep ahead of the needs of our customers with a fleet of more than 50 vehicles and 24/7 emergency service, so you're never left in the dark.
The 4M Company, being an architect and construction manager for over 40 years, has had the opportunity to use many different electrical businesses for our projects. The depth, quality, and knowledge and attention to detail displayed by Dickey Electric makes them stand out above all the rest.
For state-of-the-art expertise and a timeless commitment to our customers, contact Joe Dickey Electric. We are everything electrical.
I went to Greenwood Chevrolet because I was really interested in looking at the tracks.
Because I wanted my dream truck.
Because I've been going there for 20 years. I think whenever we go there, whatever car we're looking for, they have tremendous inventory.
If you're looking for people who care about you, Greenwood is the place to go.
You know, it's like family there. The girls know me in service. It's Miss Kim in the Tahoe.
I'm really happy that I went
to Greenwood Chevrolet.
Because they really went
the extra mile for me.
Now we're going the extra mile for you, only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
Local teams are heating up the hardwoods, and you can keep up with all the action on and off the court with Five Guys Hoop News all season long on 21 Sports.
When looking for home design inspiration, don't just be inspired, be Baird inspired. Whether new or remodeling, Baird Brothers has the latest trends like shiplap to refresh your home. Go from inspiration to installation with our wide selection of in-stock American hardwoods. From the rustic charm of antique oak to the warmth of traditional cherry, Baird Brothers has what you need to make your home inspiring. Baird Brothers, our family's heritage, your family's home.
Hello, I'm Greg Burbick with G. Burbick Farms. For the last 100 years, my family has farmed in the Columbiana and Mahoning counties. I began raising cattle in 1996 with the goal of providing a better product for you and your family on the dinner table. Our grass-fed and grain-supplemented Black Angus beef are raised with no hormones, steroids, or antibiotics. We're known for our hometown-friendly service and incredible tasting products. We're locally owned and have customers across the tri-state area. Our products go from our farm to your family. Stop by our farm on New Buffalo Road or visit us on the web at gburbickfarms.com. Don't forget to like us on Facebook. G. Burbick Farms, it just tastes better.
Hi, this is Tommy Clem, owner of WRS Insurance Solutions.
WRS Insurance Solutions is a local, independent agency that specializes in life, Medicare, long-term care, and disability products. Call us at 330-953-3722 or visit us at wrsinsuranceSolutions.com to learn more.
Good luck to all the student athletes in the Valley.
Right now is a great time to get more for your trade-in at Tri-State Ford and drive home in a new or pre-owned vehicle. Choose from our great selection of new Ford models or pre-owned vehicles. Plus, get the Tri-State Ford Advantage, including a 10-year, 200,000-mile warranty and more. At Tri-State Ford, we'll pay you top dollar for your trade, but you don't have to purchase one of ours to sell us yours.
Customer focus, community driven. Tri-State Ford East Liverpool or visit tristateford.net.
Welcome back to a Tuesday edition of Running Point presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown. 330-886-0813, the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline open for business. Big news around these parts. The Mahoning Valley Scrappers games, the home portion of the Mahoning Valley Scrappers season will be heard with yours truly. All 68 games will be heard. We're just going to get the the home broadcaster. When we're on the road, the home broadcaster will be broadcasting the games. And when the Scrappers are home, I'll be broadcasting the games for ysnlive.com. This can be fun. 68-game season. The home portion of the schedule begins on Wednesday, May the 26th, as the Scrappers will be home for 5 games, 2 against State College, and then we get a opening weekend series with the Frederick Keys. And I believe fireworks will be on opening night and again on Friday nights. But the Scrappers are going to be, the games are going to be heard right here on ysnlive.com. And I am really looking forward to having some fun broadcasting games from Eastwood Field this summer. All right, lots of basketball to get to again tonight, this afternoon, and this evening. Both Division III and Division IV regional basketball boys action in action. Cardinal Mooney will be playing Lutheran East out of Cleveland Heights. That game is going to be over at Twinsburg High School this afternoon at 5:30. And then immediately following the game around 8 o'clock from Twinsburg High School, the Springfield Tigers are in action. They will be playing Creston Norwayne. So best of luck to Cardinal Mooney and to Springfield. Division IV doubleheader of regional action from Firestone High School this afternoon and this evening. Warren JFK is in action against the Lucas Cubs this afternoon at 5:30. And then tonight at 8 o'clock, Bristol will be playing Richmond Heights. And again, that's at 5:30 and 8 o'clock from Akron Firestone High School. So best of luck to Kennedy and Bristol in Division IV. Best of luck to Cardinal Mooney and Springfield in Division III. On Thursday, we'll have an afternoon affair from the University of Dayton and the girls' state semifinals. Division IV state semis. McDonald will be playing Waterford. That is going to start at 2 o'clock on Thursday afternoon. And then Thursday evening, about 5:30 in the afternoon, late afternoon from Barberton High School, Struthers will be playing Akron St. Vincent St. Mary. And then at 8:15 on Thursday night, Cheney will be playing Gates Mills Gilmore Academy. Both of those games will be from the Purple Palace in Barberton. All right, we'll put a wrap on this one, this Tuesday edition of Running Point after this timeout. Don't you dare go away.
No matter what the weather, be prepared with a reliable, efficient Rude gas furnace or air conditioner from MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning. Call your energy efficient expert, MP Vivo, today for a free estimate.
Here at MP Vivo, we rely on Rude, and so should you.
Myers Family Insurance knows the importance of a great team.
Our team continues to grow to help you with your Medicare and retirement needs.
The annual election period is October 15th through December 7th. Now's the time to make sure your plan continues to meet your needs for the upcoming year.
Call today.
High-res Futurecast shows steady snow for the next few hours.
Still just downright cold.
It is bitter out there.
Several strong bands of lake effect snow.
winds is kind of the big story today as well.
So if you need a more detailed winter forecast on WFMJ.com and the Storm Tracker 21 app.
I went to Greenwood Chevrolet because I was really interested in looking at the tracks.
Because I wanted my dream truck.
Because I've been going there for 20 years.
I'm really happy that I went
to Greenwood Chevrolet.
Because they really went
the extra mile for me.
Now we're going the extra mile for you, only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
Wrs Wealth Advisors is the area's premier wealth and retirement specialist. With our combined 70 years experience and comprehensive wealth strategy, we assist our clients attain their goals. Call 330-965-0370 to learn more about our individual and corporate financial planning services, or visit wrswealthadvisors.com. Good luck, athletes!
Hi everyone, this is DJ Yoakley with Your Sports Network. We appreciate your support of YSN and welcome you to the YSN family. Our broadcast streams are brought to you live at no cost to you by sponsors that are local to this community. Without the vision and generosity of our sponsors and partners, we would not be able to bring this game to you today. So please support the great businesses and leaders that are making this game possible. And if you're a business in need of great advertising and sponsorship opportunities, feel free to head over to our site for more information on the right fit for you. We are local, we are loyal, and we are live. We are YSN.
Ah, the details. Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods is one fine ride. Perfect cornering, superb handling, sporty and stylish, power to spare, plus awesome mileage. Yeah, jaw-droppingly beautiful lines and well appointed with luxurious trim. Put more oomph in your life and start beholding the molding. Find your home's fine hardwood at BairdBrothers.com.
For heating, cooling, and indoor air quality, the Mahoning Valley trusts MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning, offering worry-free repair, service, and installation. Call MP Vivo today for a free estimate.
MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning. We're your energy-efficient experts.
That'll do it for a Tuesday edition of Running Point. Stick around, DJ and the fellas. Going to be doing the Power Hour coming up momentarily. They'll take you through the 3 o'clock hour. We're back at it tomorrow, Anthony Hartwig and I, for a Wednesday edition of Running Point from noon to 3 on YSN Live.